Yes,
today.
we have a guest in studio today.
We just, as you know, we went to the Mothman Museum.
Yes.
That was a big time. We did that. So, we've been busy. We've been enjoying the World Cup, and keeping busy, and so it's all good. And there's a lot. Everybody's always asks me, "Oh, this is your quiet time." I'm like, guys, when I moved here in 2003, there was a quiet time. There is no quiet time here anymore.
You could say it's a quieter time than
Sure.
like football season when you've got Vandy and Tennessee play on Saturday and the Titans on Sunday.
Yeah.
But yes, there's still a lot going on.
I mean, we got Preds development camp going on.
Right.
The tragic CJ news.
Yeah.
I mean, just in the United States plays tonight.
Yes.
I mean, it just keeps going. The sports calendar does not stop. And I think the thing that's astounding to me, because, as someone who works in local news and has always worked in local news, like when I worked in Columbia, South Carolina, this is a death sentence right now.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there and you're like, what do I fill my show with?
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. Here, I mean, they're local news, like breaking local news drops all the time. And like, I don't ever go to the station worried I'm not going to have anything.
Right.
I'm just, because like, if I don't have anything, I'm like, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even get it on yesterday. Vanderbilt signed Neesmith's younger brother.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm like,
top 20 prospect in the country.
That could have been a lead story.
Right. And you are right that there are days when I'm trying to put together the show and I'm like, man, what are we going to talk about? And something always pops up.
Yeah.
There's always something. You did mention, obviously, the tragic news of Monday, and I know you were on with Robbie and Joe after the news came down about Chris Johnson's ALS diagnosis, but just wanted to get your thoughts. Somebody who covered him.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking to see him in that state, given the superhero that he was on the football field.
Well, I've also been through it with Tim Shaw, and I'm not making it about me, but you're asking me my impression.
Right.
So as soon as I heard, I mean, we started hearing this over the weekend that this was coming, and, seeing everything Tim Shaw has gone through, my heart breaks. My heart breaks for him. And, being 40 years old with a couple of kids and a wife, it's one of the cruelest diseases out there. And then, your mind wanders to how long has he had it? How far along has he progressed? And then you see him sitting, in the chair, talking through a computer, which, by the way, the technology, absolutely unbelievable.
Right. I have been kind of racking my brain the last few days to figure out how it can work that quickly for him to use with his eyes.
Yeah, I wonder if it was edited that way,
right?
Or if it doesn't matter,
right? But still, ridiculous technology.
Ridiculous, because they actually recorded his voice while he could still talk.
Yes.
And so now, on a deeper level, I covered Chris Johnson when he was here. Interviewed him numerous times. He was always a good kid, but he was always socially awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, just not real engaging in interviews all the time. Not necessarily didn't want to do them or whatever, but just, not every guy has a ton to say.
Right.
Okay. And so, I didn't know how the interview was going to go. And I was blown away. I mean, I was blown away. He was so strong. He was so clear and so convicted with everything he had to say. I was so impressed by his clarity, by his attitude, by his message, and by his strength in not feeling sorry for himself.
Yeah.
There wasn't an ounce of self-pity, woe is me out there. Just I'm going to fight. This is the way it is. And, clearly sending the signal one more time, because people see people suffering from ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and you tell them that they're still sharp as a tack inside, and I think some people don't believe it.
Right.
He's still sharp as a tack inside. I mean, Tim Shaw, who progressed more slowly, but is in a similar state right now, still takes part in Titan special teams meetings.
Right.
Still writes reports for them. And I know he's had several businesses off the field. So, they're prisoners in their own bodies.
Yeah.
But as I always say, attitude is everything. And for both of them, their inner strength and ability to keep fighting and not feel sorry for themselves, it blows me away, Jake. It really, really does. Because I don't know that I'm that strong.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine learning that news. I mean, you heard his wife talk about how they thought it was just an old football injury, like he had some weakness in his arm.
I mean,
and
she's devastated.
Right. And I mean, I'm looking back there. People have posted videos from the Senior Bowl of last year. So 16 months ago, where he was out on the field helping the running backs.
Yeah. It hit him warp speed.
It's just nothing prepared you for that but I saw rumors on Sunday night that that was what was going to be announced on Good Morning America. And I think you were prepared for that, the revelation that he was diagnosed with it.
You thought he'd be sitting there talking.
Right. You thought it would be like,
I've got a fight ahead of me.
You were diagnosed within the last couple of months. I mean, it was stunning. And you're right, to see the way that he's handled it, because it would be very easy to give up. As he said, you're given those two choices. You can give up or you can fight. And he's chosen to fight.
When I heard him say that, I mean, it sent a shiver. It was so inspiring. It really, really was.
Yeah.
And, I'm not trying to joke about it, but he's never someone who I ever thought said anything inspiring. And I think in life, when you're presented great challenges, you have two options. And he has chosen the right one. He has chosen, and not just to fight, but the option for greatness.
Yeah.
And he's, I will not, I mean, I may die, I may lose this, and I may lose that. I will not let this defeat me mentally. And it is so inspiring. So you feel guilty about yourself. I've been struggling with my knee for over a year now.
Right.
And I'm just like, what is wrong with you, dude? You're feeling sorry for yourself. You can still walk. You can still run a little bit. You just got to get back completely. But, come on, buck up, cowboy, put on the big boy pants.
Yeah, I think it does put a lot in perspective to see what we saw on Monday with Chris Johnson. Yeah. And we've talked about it all week. The Titans obviously released a statement. It feels like it's a no-brainer to get him in the Ring of Honor as soon as possible.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want it because, like, I think about Steve McMichael and how they had to rush to get him into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because he should have already been there, probably.
Yeah.
And, Floyd got added to the Ring of Honor, but it was too late.
Yes.
But I think they told him it was going to happen before he passed. You want to honor these people when they and their families can still appreciate it. And yes, his duration of greatness was a short window, but so was Gale Sayers and Terrell Davis.
Right.
And I'm not saying he belongs in the Hall of Fame like they do. I think a 2,000-yard season and for 3 or 4 years, one of the most dynamic weapons in the entire NFL, I think there's absolutely a spot in the Ring of Honor for Chris Johnson.
100%.
And I think that's whether he had ALS or not.
That's what we've been saying too, is this diagnosis doesn't change that he is deserving of being in the Ring of Honor, but I think it does change the urgency of which you want to get him in.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2009 season, people may disagree with this. I still think you could put it in the conversation for one of the greatest running back seasons ever. It is the most scrimmage yards in NFL history.
No,
2,500 yards.
They knew he was coming and they could not stop him.
Right.
And he should have broken the record. I don't know if you remember in the last game of the season.
The holding call.
Yeah, a horrible holding call against Ahmad Hall. I mean, this is one, like where the referees missed the Saints-Vikings penalty.
Right.
This is one where you have got to have some awareness. You've got to have some awareness. And I know they would say, well, we're going to referee every play the same. Bologna sandwiches.
Right.
All right. This guy is trying to run into history, and you just took back a 50-yard touchdown run on a craptastic call.
Yep.
All right. He has to tackle that guy for you to call holding in that situation. All right. I know there's going to be a referee out there who calls me and says I'm an idiot. That's fine. I will die on my deathbed making this argument that call should not only have not been made, should not even have been considered.
And, again, I 100% you're right that they're going to say they officiate every play the same way.
That's a lie.
But did that game have any meaning to either
it didn't.
Because the Titans
was the only thing that was on the line.
The Titans went, 7-9 that year?
Yeah, which was remarkable.
Because they started 0-6. Yeah. No, they went 8-8. Man, they were so
it was the worst start I've ever seen
in my
life.
And the Seahawks went 5-11. There was absolutely nothing on the line in that game.
Yeah.
And it's funny. As you were saying that, Damian in Nashville on our text line says, terrible news about CJ on the football field. I still remember the horrible holding call from Ed Hockley on the 60-yard run, the last game of the 2,000-yard season.
He would have had the all-time record, the all-time single-season record.
So he came up 95 yards short
did he?
of the record. But I do wonder.
Is he of the record now?
Of Dickerson's record.
Okay.
The closest ever was Adrian Peterson. He came up 8 yards short.
Okay. He would have been close, man.
Because
that would have changed the game as well.
Right. You might have played the game differently if he got within 30 or 40 yards.
Oh, yeah, you
would
have. Right? And that offensive line was a group of bad dudes, man. Those guys could block. I mean, Kevin Malloy and company.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, gosh, I remember those offensive lines, and I look at where the Titans are now, and I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm used to this group, this five just kicking tail.
Right.
I mean, because that group was nasty.
Yeah. No, that was a great offensive line. And again, I think one of the greatest running back seasons of all time. So Chris Johnson, I think it would make sense week 1 against the Jets, another team that he played on.
Sure.
And you're gonna have a good crowd out there for week 1 because the season's not over yet.
You don't know how long you'll have.
Exactly. I
mean, if you wanted to do it in the preseason,
right,
but you're not going to have a full crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you could get a full crowd to honor Chris Johnson.
Right. I think week 1 against the Jets makes the most sense. But again, as we all know, that you just have no idea.
No, you know. But I agree. And by the way, while we're talking, remarkable that they kept this under wraps.
I know,
for the last year. And at one point, and I don't know if we're going to talk about this rest of the show, so I want to bring it up now.
Yeah.
If you remember the NFL draft, which was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Jim Wyatt put out his 150 people picking first for the Titans. Chris Johnson
made a pick. Yeah.
Was the only one to pick Carnell Tate.
Yeah, you're right.
And so he's going through all this, and he's still making picks. And he was doing like draft analysis online. I remember that.
Yeah.
And that's all while he was going through all of this. I can't tell you how blown away I am by him. I just am.
It is so impressive the way he's handled it. And you're right. It's he said it himself. He dreams the same. He thinks the same. Everything's the same. His body just doesn't cooperate. And that's why it's so heartbreaking for someone who was one of the elite athletes in the world.
Well, they were just talking about it. I mean, fastest Titan in history.
Right.
And look, fastest player I've ever seen on the football field.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've seen Ronaldo Niemeyer and Willie Gault. I've never seen so many people miss on their pursuit angles against a player.
Right.
Never. Darryl Green was also lightning fast.
The angles that some guys took on defense when they hadn't played Chris Johnson before, it was hilarious. They would take 2 steps towards him, and by the time they got there, he was 5 yards down the field.
I remember the guys from Buffalo, I was talking to them, and they were like, yeah, blah, 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 Chris Johnson, he looks great. I go, yeah. And I said, he's going to go 50 against you guys at least one play. And they're like, what? I go, oh, yeah. I'm like, nobody knows the pursuit angle until they play him.
Right.
And they were like, all right, because their defense was pretty good. And like first half, he's just gone. And I just looked at him. I'm like, I told you.
It was one of those just like you could not avoid it. Inevitable things that even in games where he wasn't great, like didn't have didn't stop the offensive line, he'd find one time where he broke through for 70 yards.
Worst game I ever saw him play in Chicago. They started getting some lake effect snow. He had no desire to be there. You could tell he was just like, get me out of here. The Orlando kid wanted nothing to do with it.
Hey, that lake effect will do it to a man.
Yeah,
it's cold. Look, it's cold
to
over there. With that wind coming off the lake, I mean, if it's cold, it's even colder. And we all knew going in, really, man, CJ's not going to love that. I mean, he's not Eddie or Derek in the snow.
Right. I mean, we
once you lose your feeling in your fingers, it's game over.
Yeah, those Florida kids, they don't like it was Jarvis Brownlee Jr. who complained about the DC cold.
It was 49 or
right, yeah.
Degrees. I think guys got cold. That might be one of the dumbest comments.
Right. I mean, it was in DC, and it was in December, early December. I was like, man, I grew up there. You ain't seen nothing. Like,
no, when he said it, everybody was like, what the hell are you talking about, man? That's like, this is like, hey, go sit down and let the adults talk for a while.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you want to text or call, our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Corey with us for the full show. We got a lot to get into today. NHL free agency opens up at 11 a.m., so we will keep you updated if any news comes down about the Preds or big moves around the league. Also, the U.S. men's national team getting ready to start their knockout stages against Bosnia and Herzegovina tonight. But coming up next, I saw something on Twitter yesterday that I wanted to talk about. And It's an interesting June conversation for Sports Talk Radio. We'll say that. We'll get to it next. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Big night tonight. The U.S. taking on Bosnia and Herzegovina. 7 o'clock kick. U.S. will have its full squad ready to roll and hoping they can reach the round of 16 where they would face the winner of Belgium and Senegal. We'll get into that game later on in the show. But Cory, so I saw this yesterday. This is from Bussin' with the Boys on Twitter. They posted a list of the top 10 most miserable fan bases in all of sports.
Yeah.
And I thought this is a perfect July topic.
Mm-hmm.
I said June. I forgot it's July now. Here are the 10 that they have listed.
I wonder how they define that.
So that's my question too, because
there's some fan bases that are just always unhappy.
Right. But this feels like a more of a like recency bias thing because.
So this is just top 10 teams who suck.
Yeah, I guess, because I viewed it as most tortured fan bases, and they don't have the Lions or Bills on here, which I was like, all right, that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But they've got Jets, Browns, Maple Leafs, Rockies, Nebraska, Dallas, the Cowboys, the Sacramento Kings, Chicago White Sox, Miami Dolphins, and the Tennessee Volunteers at number 10. And so first off, if you don't have the Bills and you don't have the Lions, like the Bills, first of all, just
the Lions have never even been in the Super Bowl.
Right. And
I mean, losing 4 in a row, making it 4 times and not winning one.
That's the Vikings are also 0-4.
And maybe they're saying right now is miserable because, like, hey, the Bills are a good team right now. The Lions are a good team.
Yeah, but the coach just got fired because they couldn't win the Super Bowl.
Right. If I'm looking at a fan base that should be the most miserable, I'm sorry, it's the Buffalo Bills. You lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. Then you went 20 years without making the playoffs, and now you just cannot get past and get over the hump and get back to the Super Bowl.
I disagree with you on a couple of fronts there. I understand your argument. I'm not arguing with that, but the Jets suck.
Okay, yeah. If you're going to give me one, probably the Jets.
I mean, they suck, and they've sucked the longest. I mean, they invented the word suck in the dictionary. Next to it is the word Jets.
They've got one Super Bowl at least.
Yeah. I wasn't even born yet, and I'm the oldest person here.
What, 57 years ago?
Yeah. And they're a clown show. They're a clown show.
No, that is fair.
But then the other one, and it's interesting with Bussin' with the Boys because they've got a front row seat to it, is Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because I was around for Nebraska and Oklahoma just being juggernauts.
Right.
And they still think that that's who they should be. Okay. But that's not who they are.
Yeah.
They suck.
Back in the days of the Big 8?
Yeah.
By the way, why did they stop playing each other? Oklahoma and Nebraska.
Because Nebraska left the conference.
That's stupid. They should play every year.
Well, they should.
That used to be one of the best rivalries.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
But Nebraska left for the Big 10, and that's what ended it.
Yeah. Maybe they bring that back at some point. But
maybe.
I would bring it back. If I was commissioner, I'd bring it back.
See, Oklahoma's already got to play Texas every year. But they should want to play Nebraska every year because they kick their butt because they're terrible.
Notre Dame and USC, no excuse for them to not be playing this year.
Look, when Tom Osborne was the coach at Nebraska, and everybody thinks they weren't cheating, whatever. They loaded up on players from California.
Yeah.
And they were super fast, somehow convincing all these Californians to come to Lincoln, Nebraska without cheating.
Right.
Somehow.
I've heard Lincoln is one of those places that you just have to go spend 4 years.
Yeah. But no, I mean, but like, look, they were fully committed to winning. I mean, look, I'm not sitting here saying, well, this team's cheating. They were like Alabama.
Right.
100% all in. It just means more. I mean, when you thought college football, you thought Nebraska, Oklahoma for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they both ran the option and ran the hell out of it. And that team, they were used to going 10-1, 11-0 every year. Basically, if they lost to Oklahoma, that was going to be their only loss of the year. That was it. And, now they can't even get out of their own way.
Yeah.
And they cannot get the players.
Right.
They can't get the players. They've had a number of coaches. You can't tell me they're all bad coaches. The one they've got now, won at Temple.
Yeah. Won at Baylor.
But he can't win there.
Yeah. And he, had a 5-star quarterback too.
Yeah.
Not anymore. He's going to play backup at Oregon.
We see a lot of 5-star quarterbacks leave.
That's true. 5-star quarterbacks, the track record over the last few years has not been great.
Well, look, the moment a 5-star quarterback doesn't start somewhere, someone else has offered him money.
Yeah. No, that is true.
And so they're on their way. But to me, for a team that was greatness for a long time, to now just be a joke, and I don't mean to be this difficult, but no one takes them seriously.
Yeah.
Like if you see them on your schedule now, you're like, sweet, that's a W.
Right.
And to see them fall that far, and you keep waiting for them to rebound.
Right.
And they don't.
No, I mean, and on like a much smaller scale, I get that as a Virginia Tech fan of like when I was growing up,
way smaller scale,
not national championship level, but
but you also haven't been bad that long.
When I was growing up, it was like every year Tech was at least in the conversation, and now it's like they just went 3-9. Mm-hmm. So, I understand that you have to change your expectations with the way that your program goes, and with Nebraska, it hasn't been good for a while. Chris in Nashville on the text line says, Nebraska alum here. I have no delusions. We suck.
Yeah. I mean, I feel sorry for him because I'm sure when he was growing up, they were the cat's meow, man.
Right.
And now, man, and you got to be sitting there as a Nebraska fan saying, why can't we do this?
Yeah.
Why can't we get players anymore? Is our money not green?
Yeah, and they thought Scott Frost was going to be the savior.
I did too.
Coming back. I mean,
thought he had just had that unbelievable run down in Central Florida.
Won a national championship.
Yeah. And I was like, I thought he was really going to get it turned around.
Yeah, it felt like a match made in heaven, right? The prodigal son returns. Okay. I don't know why that one couldn't get out of my mouth. Prodigal son returns after claiming a national championship with Central Florida.
Well, they should have gotten an opportunity to play somebody.
You think that they should have been in the Final Four that year?
I don't know.
What I forget what year was that.
I don't know.
It was 2014.
They were good.
Yep. 20 Baylor in the Fiesta Bowl that year.
How'd they do?
They beat Baylor.
Okay.
With Blake Bortles.
Okay.
No, it wasn't 2014. It must have been. Oh, man, they fell off quickly.
Yeah.
They went 0-12 in 2015. It was.
Didn't Gus Malzahn?
It was 2013.
Didn't Gus Malzahn follow him up?
Yes. Wait, no.
Or did he follow up Gus Malzahn?
It must have been later because
it was Heupel.
Heupel and then Gus Malzahn.
No, it was later on because George O'Leary was the coach.
Oh, that's right.
Previously,
he got them rolling.
So
they were terrible. George O'Leary got them good.
It was 2017 UCF with Scott Frost. They went 13-0 and did not get a chance to play in the Final Four. So
which is why you expand the playoffs,
right?
So that the non-Power 5 undefeated team that kicked everybody's butt gets to play.
We're not doing this.
They beat Auburn.
They were top 10, were they not, Parker?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
I think they were number 7.
So they would have, to what my argument was, they would have earned their way in.
Yeah, they finished 6th in the AP poll.
Yeah, so they would have earned a spot in the playoffs now.
Yep.
They wouldn't have been automatically given to them. They would have been invited.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Who do you think is the most miserable fan base in all of sports?
So who else we got in there?
Well, we're going to continue it. Okay. I want to get Parker's thoughts on the Vols. And do Vols fans really qualify for this conversation?
No, look, they're insufferable, but they won way too much to be
tortured. I agree with that. And we'll talk about
a lot of sports
coming up next because I don't think that they can be included in this conversation.
Like when you're based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and you want to trigger people, you throw that out.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. I know I'm talking. We can go to break.
615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Today, the Nashville Sounds take on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp at First Horizon Park with first pitch at 6:35. You can catch all of the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, Mad Fireworks, and Social Cantina. We were going through the list that Bussin' with the Boys put out of the 10 most miserable fan bases. And I think the top three certainly should be included on this list. Jets, Browns, Maple Leafs definitely should be there.
Absolutely.
You made a good point that before the championship last month, the Knicks probably would have been on this list.
Absolutely.
But obviously not anymore. Cowboys, I think for sure you could put them in this conversation.
Yeah, I would say that, but they're too delusional to be miserable because they think they're going to win the Super Bowl every year.
That's true.
So they're not miserable. And they look at their team no matter what. They look at through cowboy colored glasses and we're going to win it all.
And I guess it's not like they've been close and had like these heartbreaking moments over the last 20 years.
Look, I grew up with Roger Staubach and just a group of guys who were just, I mean, they were unbelievable. And then I got to see the Troy Aikman teams, and they were unbelievable. These teams, they ain't it.
No, they are not. They haven't been to an NFC championship game since what, 93?
What do they have, like 2 playoff wins in the last like 30 years?
Yeah, they won one with Dak in like 2019 or something like that, and then I think they won one more.
Yay!
They did
the
have
Titans have more playoff wins.
They had the heartbreaking moment of Romo dropping the snap on the
Seattle?
extra point. Yeah, in Seattle.
That's
that one was tough. The one that I'm sure hurts Cowboys fans a lot was the Aaron Rodgers game against the Packers in 2016.
Yeah.
That was the one where
awful.
the Packers fan took the picture in the crowd after the Cowboys scored the go-ahead touchdown. It was like they're celebrating with 37 seconds left. And
was that Aaron Rodgers pass to Randall Cobb? That one he made the catch on the sideline.
Wasn't it Cookie?
It was Jared Cook.
Yeah, it was Jared Cook.
Yeah. I think we're thinking of the right game.
Yeah.
And they won, and that was the year the Cowboys were the 1 seed. Dak and Zeke.
That was back when Aaron Rodgers may have been a total lunatic, but he made unbelievable throws that you just could not believe.
No, especially in the playoffs. Like it was either a year or two later where he had the 2 Hail Marys against the Cardinals. One was to Jeff Janis. He was pretty ridiculous for a while there in the playoffs. But the number 10 team on here, and I think Bussin' with the Boys just put it on there because they know they're a Tennessee-based podcast. They have a lot of Tennessee fans who follow them. They listed the Vols as the 10th most miserable fan base, and I don't understand it. You do have a national championship. I know it was almost 30 years ago, but it's not like this is a fan base that has never gotten over the hump. They did win one, and in every sport right now, they're solid. Like that, baseball is. They just won a national championship 2 years ago.
Their men's basketball program is top flight.
Right. They've been to the Elite Eight 3 straight years. The women's basketball program was maybe still is the greatest of all time. I think you have to put them up against UConn.
Yep.
Falling on hard times, though.
But hasn't been great the last few years.
But I'm intrigued by this season. I really am.
Me too. Me too. Where it's just like, it seems like Kim Caldwell has said, you know what, I'm going to stop pretending that I need 5 stars to run my system.
No, she's not pretending that. She's saying that.
I'm going to go get the
players
that are going to fit my system the best instead of trying to worry about star ratings.
I don't think she forgot how to coach. And I absolutely think they should have kept her and seen what else she can do.
Yeah.
I think there's greatness in there. I do. I mean, and it's just like you said, I think we all say she got caught up in 5 stars. You know who gets caught up in 5 stars? Boosters.
Right.
And they say you need to recruit these people. And if you're not, why aren't we on them? The heat is on you.
Right. We're Tennessee. Why are you not getting McDonald's All-American?
I know for a fact that's what happened to Bruce Weber at Illinois.
I just don't think her system's going to work.
Well, we'll see.
The hockey rotations. I don't think it's going to work.
I think her system works well, but not in the SEC. I think there's just too much physicality.
Are you saying that she doesn't have the ability to adjust?
No.
Maybe she can.
I think she should.
But I think we saw what happened when the rest of the SEC adjusted to her.
Well, but then she's got to move the chess pieces, and I think she's smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
And she also had this situation with one of the coaches basically backstabbing her all the way during the season, which is just a nightmare.
It seems like there was, and maybe not seems like, it was a disaster the entire second half of that season.
So she's got a clean slate, and Maybe I'm too strong a defender of hers because last year was terrible without question.
Yeah.
But I just think there's more there than that. I don't think she's who was the idiot who coached there? You brought up his name the other day. I mean, he coaches Central Arkansas State now. Butch Jones.
Butch Jones. Yeah.
Butch Jones. Butch Jones was just a used car salesman.
Brick by brick, baby.
No, I mean he was all show.
The quote that he had at Arkansas a few years ago was my favorite, of like basically saying year 3 was really year 1 for him because like they didn't have their players in year 1 or something like that. And then there was an injury in year 2. And it's like, so year 3 is really year 1.
When I was at SIU, we had a coach, well, by the way, Bruce Smith, and his offensive coordinator was Bill Callahan that first year.
Wow.
So he got fired after 5 years because they won like 3 games a year. And I was on the broadcast back then. I was the producer of the show.
Gotcha.
And halftime and post-game show host.
Love it.
And so the interview was happening with him on the sideline after the game, and we all knew it was going to be his last game. And he was asked, what did you learn about this job that you didn't know when you took it? And he's like, well, I learned it takes more than 5 years to build a program. It probably takes more like 7 or 9. And I just went, oh my gosh. Oh my, this is ludicrous.
That's amazing.
This is ludicrous. That's what coaches do. But like, back to Tennessee.
Yeah.
They've won way too much to be tortured.
I agree.
Are their expectations really high? Yeah, they are. And have they gotten close and then lost some big games?
There's been some heartbreaking moments for the Vols.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
lots.
But they're not Nebraska.
No.
Now they were for a couple of years there with Derek Dooley. I mean, but that was a short window.
Not just Dooley.
Well, yeah, and Jeremy Pruitt.
Butch Jones.
Yeah. Well, but Butch Jones had a couple of really nice years.
It was a tough 3-coach era there. Dooley, Jones.
But that year with Josh Dobbs, they should have went 10-2 and went to the Sugar Bowl and lost to South Carolina and Vanderbilt, which both shouldn't have happened.
Which is why Butch got fired.
Yep.
Yeah. But so, it was like a 15-20 year window where it was a struggle. And Nebraska has been down a long time.
Right.
A long time. And for them just getting to 5 wins.
I mean,
has been something.
They had some years there with like Bo Pelini as the coach where they were decent. Ndamukong Suh was on that team.
They were decent.
They were never national title contenders, which is what the expectation was.
Would they get to like 8 wins then?
I think they had a 10-win year.
Okay.
They made it to the Big Ten championship against Wisconsin.
Oh, did they?
1 year.
The year
that was like a while, maybe 10 years ago. No.
Was that was
11,
Suh, wasn't it?
Yeah, that the year the Hokies beat them in Lane. One of my favorite games I've ever been to. Maybe my favorite game.
I've been to a game at Nebraska.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one of the bucket list stadiums I want to get to.
It's a dump.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, when I went there, it was.
The atmosphere looks like it's awesome.
No, the atmosphere is great.
Memorial's a dump?
When I went there, which was back in like 1993, 4, it was decrepit, and the stands were like bleachers. I mean, it was
they have renovated it.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that's what I say. Back when I was in there, I was like, I have these grand expectations. I'm like, this place sucks.
It wouldn't be at the top of my list. There are plenty of other places I want to go to first, but it would be one of them.
But I want to go to Nebraska so bad. I love their fan base.
Yeah. Well, I say as far as passion, pageantry, game day experience, it was great.
Right.
I mean, they sold out the football stadium for a volleyball game.
Right.
Yeah. No, don't confuse the two. Don't confuse them.
Right. The stadium doesn't mean
and I'm sure the stadium looks far different now.
Right. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll take your thoughts on this. Got a couple on here. Brian says the Nashville Predators fan base could be nominees for this list. Nearly 3 decades of watching other expansion teams win the cup while they come up empty. I don't know top 10, but definitely a tortured fan base.
I think Columbus, they've really, they've had some decent years, but the Preds have enjoyed way more success than they have. Look, the Preds were for 20 years a consistent playoff team.
Yeah.
And we're not a traditional hockey market. So I don't know that the expectations, we had expectations 1 year when they won the President's Trophy.
Right.
And came up short. That's probably the most tortured this fan base has been.
Yeah. And I think there's 2 different types of tortured, of like getting so close that you
just not being able to get out of your own way,
and just being horrible.
Yeah.
And the Preds have had 2017, 2018, like they had the moments where they got really close and couldn't get over the hump. But outside of that, they've just kind of been in the middle, which is its own torture. But I wouldn't put them in that top 10.
No, not in the Chicago White Sox torture.
9264 says the Reds. The Reds definitely could.
They're kind of like Nebraska.
Yeah.
Ever since the Big Red Machine, they've been a big red mess.
Yeah. No, that's a good one there. 615-737-1025. If you have any thoughts on this.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs.
Look, that is they might be number one.
Right, because that is their life.
Yes.
Like they live and breathe Maple Leafs hockey. And
yes. And I mean, look, getting to the playoffs is not enough.
Right.
It's not enough. Every year that they don't win the cup is like a gut punch to them.
Yeah.
And I their expectations might be higher than any other fan base. It really might be.
Yeah.
I mean, in hockey, Alabama fans, football,
right,
pretty high.
I mean, I think you look at the Maple Leafs kind of in the vein of like Cubs and Red Sox before they finally won theirs. Of like it, just the pain, like.
Yeah, but I mean,
it
growing
feels
up,
like they're cursed.
For a long time, the Cubs were horrible.
Yeah,
like when I was a child, they were
over 100 years without a World Series.
Win. They played the 45 World
Yeah.
Series.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, again, like in the 70s up until 1984, the Cubs, I mean, they were like a 60-win team every year.
Yeah.
They were terrible. And then they had 84, and then they had 89. And then, they've been pretty consistently, like every few years they make a run.
Yeah.
So, like right now, I think they won again last night. They're all over the place this year, but I got a sneaking suspicion they're going to wind up in the postseason when it's all over.
How, they're still a couple games above 500, right?
Oh no, they're up to like 7 or 8 now.
Oh, okay.
They've gotten hot again.
There you go.
They're like 9-1 in their last 10. They're hitting another hot streak. So Pete Crow Armstrong had an historic June.
Yeah.
And now Dansby Swanson, who starts every year hitting well below his weight, has done the traditional Dansby Swanson thing and absolutely caught fire. I mean, he is mashing the baseball. And so they've had a ton of pitching injuries again. And if they can get some of those guys back and throwing, they're going to be in good shape because they can hit the baseball pretty well.
The Tigers fire sale is about to open up over the next month here. So if you need anything, hey, Detroit is a good team to call. We've got outfielders, infielders, pitchers.
The Cubs have survived a 10-game losing streak to still be like 8 games over 500.
They're 10 games over 500, actually. 48 and 38.
Okay, so there you go. And they survived a 10-game losing streak and have that record. So that's pretty strong.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll wrap up hour number 1 after this. In hour number 2, I was on with Cory on Sunday.
You were on Sports Extra.
I was on
forgot
Sports
about
Extra,
that.
And you gave me an idea for a segment of like, here's what we can do during the summer. And I was like, we're going to do that with Cory. We're going to do Titans higher or lower on some of the. I
love higher or lower.
So we're going to play that
over,
game
under, higher, lower. I like them all.
We'll do it coming up at 10 o'clock. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Finishing up the first hour on this Wednesday. Going through the most miserable fan bases around all of sports. I think we've gotten through a lot of them. 4312 on the text line says the Seattle Mariners, says some great teams, but just haven't been able to do it. Yeah, I would.
Some great players.
Yeah, great players for sure.
No, like the year that they won like 120 games.
Yeah.
And didn't make it. They lost to the Yankees. God, that was a great team.
Yeah,
that was like an 84 Cubs moment. I mean,
right.
That was just heartbreaking.
Mariners have definitely had some really good teams. That's a good pull. You mentioned, you covered South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's a fan base that there are a lot of fan bases around college sports that no matter how bad the team is, they come out and support, and you hope that eventually it pays off, but it just never has.
No, and I mean they are as passionate and as diehard as anyone, and they have died and died and died. If it hadn't been for Ray Tanner at the baseball team and Dawn Staley and the women's basketball team, it may have just fallen into the center of the earth at this point. Yeah. Now look, I was there when Lou Holtz got there. The turnaround was staggering.
Yeah.
And then Steve Spurrier continued it, and so they had a nice run.
Yeah,
they had a nice run, but they still, they want to win a national championship, and they can't sniff it. They can't sniff it. And they have, I don't want to say they have way more bad years than good, but nobody goes into each season worrying about South Carolina for the most part.
Yeah, let's see. Just like year over year. Because, I mean, last year obviously was tough for South Carolina because
disappointment because the year before finished so strong, people thought they might be in the playoff.
And, they went 4-8 and had a possible top 10 pick quarterback heading into the year, a guy who is going to be a top 10 pick on the edge coming up next year in Dylan Stewart. Like they've
had a lot of draft picks.
They have. Picks. I mean, number 1 pick, Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, Melvin Ingram, a really good player.
Debo Samuel. They've had some Xavier Legette.
Well, this is an older one, Sterling Sharp.
Yep, Sterling Sharp. The Cookie Monster. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to find like year by year results.
And do we all remember Steve Tannehill, who passed away?
Yeah. Here's your first round picks. They've had a lot in like the last 15 years. Stephon Gilmore, first round pick. Melvin Ingram, Hayden Hurst.
Look, there's a lot of talent in that state.
There is.
But they're fighting with Clemson for it every day.
Yeah.
And then you also got Georgia trying to get in there and North Carolina trying to get in there.
Right.
So it's a tough one. But if you get the really good ones, there's some really good players in that state. Chris Hope didn't play for South Carolina, but he's a South Carolina kid. Yeah, it's a make or break year for Mr. Beamer. And I always root for Shane. Like I love Shane, but I'm not so sure it's going to go all that well for them this year. When Bielema trolled him in that bowl game,
that
was awesome. I don't hate him.
A lot of people. Well, Robbie Stanley is the main Shane Beamer hater. He does not like Shane.
I don't hate him. That's because they lost to him. But I love Bielema.
Yeah,
and so
I like him too.
I love.
He doesn't get enough credit for what he's done at Illinois.
Yeah, that's true.
19 wins over the last 2 years.
Right.
He's perfect fit there. Perfect fit. And I mean, came here and beat Tennessee.
Yeah, that is true.
He's one of his receivers, and Beatty.
Yeah, he's on the Titans. Yeah.
He's showing out.
He's a little guy.
Ooh,
he is a little guy.
Believe we might have some Predators news.
Okay. Free agency starts in what, an hour?
We do have some Preds news.
Okay, we got a trade.
I believe it's an offer sheet.
Oh.
Maverick Bork to Nashville.
That's an awesome name.
From Dallas.
Dallas traded a guy named Maverick?
It's not Hoglander,
Let's see.
Is that a real person?
I don't know if that's his actual name, but that's how I would pronounce it.
No, I meant Maverick.
Maverick Bork, yes. Dallas Stars center. He is 24 years old. He had 41 points last year.
Okay. I don't watch the Stars much, in case you tell.
So he has played 2 full seasons in the NHL. His rookie year, he had 25 points, and last year in a full 82 games, he had 41 points.
They are adding a ton of depth at forward.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet does Chris McFarland think he has 5 lines of forwards? Because you're right. They have just loaded up on that line, which maybe makes you think that there's another shoe to drop there. Could they be trading Jonathan Marchessault? Could they be moving on Ryan O'Reilly?
Yeah, that's all legit.
You don't know, but that is from Elliot Friedman, hearing Maverick Bourque to Nashville.
Okay. Well, the other thing is this is not a good free agency period. And so, if there's guys you want, you got to go get them. And that's why we've seen so many trades, because it's not a very deep free agency period.
Yes, there is not a lot of big names out there. Let's see. So he is a restricted free agent. So I guess maybe it is a trade. Maybe the Predators are trading for Bourque's rights so they can sign him. That would be my guess. Kind of like they did with Jack Drury.
Yeah.
I got to say, I don't know a ton about him. I didn't watch a whole lot of Stars hockey this year, but 41 points in his second year in the league and 24 years old.
That's
like
all right.
that a former first round pick. I like the process there from Chris McFarland.
Well, and we've seen the Preds do this before, take swings at former first rounders. Cody Glass,
right,
among them. And you see maybe if they just need a little bit longer to pop. And it's quite often it's worth the swing with what you're giving up to get them. We have to see what the exchange is here, though. But 41 points is not nothing,
right?
And so I wonder that where they view him. They've added, I think, more centers than this team has had in a decade, like true center ice guys, because they've also got the Russian coming over who's a center as well,
right? And maybe Matthew Wood's going to bump back out to the wing, because he isn't a true center. That's not what he was brought up to be. He had to transition to that. So if you're looking at true centers, you now have O'Reilly, Bourque, Drury, Pinchuk. They just traded for Edstrom.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing somebody?
I don't know.
That's not, but still, that you're deeper there than you have been in the past.
Yeah, and you've got competition, and the other thing is maybe you've got trade pieces.
Right. You can't have too many good centers. 615-737-1025. We'll keep an eye on that from Elliot Friedman and Pierre LeBrun. Nashville finalizing a trade for Maverick Bourque from Dallas in exchange for draft picks. We'll let you know what the compensation is. We'll talk some Preds throughout the show as well. And we're going to get into some Titans coming up next, barring any more Preds news coming down the pike. But again, free agency starts at 11 a.m. 615-737-1025. You can text or call. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up. 1025 The Game. Okay, second and third rounder to Dallas. Nashville also gets Ilya Lyabushkin.
The Preds do?
Yeah.
What are they giving up?
Second and the third.
Oh, wow.
Is he the Russian?
Yeah. Ilya.
Well, he's another Russian.
Lyabushkin.
I really wonder if it's because of the logjam of players they've got in the minors that they just can't afford to make that many picks.
Yeah, that is true.
You can't roster all these guys.
Ilya Lyabushkin, 32-year-old right shot defenseman.
Okay.
Who has 70 career points in 486 games.
Sounds like a Milwaukee player to me.
Yeah.
He's trying to get me to watch a show. One of the characters is named Ilya.
Ilya?
Yeah.
The only Ilya I know is Ilya Kovalchuk.
I don't know.
He was a hockey player.
Ilya Kovalchuk was, I remember him with the Thrashers.
Only hockey players can be named Ilya.
Happy 250 years, America.
Celebrate 250 years of America with Mad Fireworks. Check out madfireworks.com for a location near you. I'm Emma Smith. We rented rescue someone in an opioid emergency. Laid them on their back, used Narcan nasal spray as directed, and down 911. Stay and continue to administer additional doses as needed. Visit Reddit's
Oh, we got a hot mic.
Oh, thanks, man.
Next man up, 102.5, the game's second hour on your Wednesday morning. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. It is the opening day of NHL free agency, and Chris McFarland has just made a move, trading a second and a third round pick for Maverick Bourque.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I haven't seen what years they're in yet because they do have a lot of second and third round picks coming up.
I mean, look, if you're trading away a second and a third round pick, you think this guy is part of your future.
Yeah, and again, I think it was the age bracket, the age bucket that Chris McFarland has talked about.
24 to 28.
Right. He's 24 years old. He's coming off a 40-point season with Dallas. Dallas is in a little bit of a cap crunch here, and they're trying to win now. So this is an opportunity to get a young player and add him to your core that can play right now at the NHL level.
Well, and I brought up to you in the break, I don't think that they can roster all these guys. I'm talking about like in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And so, with the amount of, they have a staggering amount of picks. And I don't know if there's room for all of them along with the guys you've already got in your system. And so, I think that's part of the reason, you make these trades. And Barry always said, he was setting them up to be able to, move around the board,
right.
Or add existing players with all of these picks that they've got. And that's exactly what, Shane McFarland has used the picks. He's traded away a bunch of them. He traded up to get another guy in the first. Now he's got to be right. He's got to be right. That's always the case that goes with it. But, he was left a strong hand to work with as a GM, and he is manipulating the board with it. And we'll see if he manipulated it, strategically or not.
Right. We've talked about the excess draft capital that the Preds have, and now they don't have much of it anymore, at least over the next couple of years.
They've moved a lot of it.
They had 2 second-round picks. They traded those to move up for Tommy Blyle.
Traded 2/3.
Right. Traded 2/3 to go get Ross Colton.
Traded 42 and 57 to move up to 31 this year.
And now we've traded away a second and a third round pick in this deal for Maverick Bourque. The Preds also are getting back Ilya Lyabushkin, who is kind of a journeyman defenseman that played the last 2 years with the Stars, had just 9 points in 53 games.
Robbie Stanley has just texted me, our resident hockey guy.
Perfect.
And says Bourque is legit, and this is a great move for the Preds.
Okay.
So
sweet.
There you go. There you go.
Sweet. I think that's what the Preds should be looking for right now. You don't need to go make win now moves. Like if you made a trade with the Stars for another one of their restricted free agents, like Jason Robertson, good player and would be part of the future of this team. But I feel like what you'd have to give up to get him just wouldn't be worth it considering where this roster is right now. But now you've got a guy like Bourque who can hopefully grow with this young core and be part of the solution long-term.
Robbie's texting me again right now because I asked him what line player he thinks he can be. Because is he a second line center?
Yeah.
Because that would, if you could have a second line center and put Wood and Stamkos around him,
right?
Then you're talking about something. So it'll be interesting. You got more pieces. He said for this team, he thinks he's a second liner. And so that's worthy of a second and a third.
Right. Second and a third that you, again, have the extra draft capital. Next year, you had 2 seconds and 2/3. The year after that, you have 2 seconds and 2 thirds. So it's
they still got a ton of picks, dude.
Right. They still have plenty of picks that they can move around. So
and now they've used 2 picks that may never have panned out to be a guy who's going to be a second line player for them, hopefully for about 8 to 10 years.
Right. And looking at the lineup right now, we did this with Nick Frazier yesterday, just looking at what the lines could look like. If you go on the top line and say it's Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Evangelista. Now, if Bork is your second line center, which we'll see, but if he's your second line center, I think that probably means you bump Matthew Wood back out to the wing, and that leaves Jonathan Marchessault likely as the odd man out. I would, again, just guessing here, they could keep him, but I don't really see a great fit for him.
I mean, people talk about how much money he makes. He's like $5.5 million a year.
The money isn't a big deal. I think it's just like him and Brunette.
Well, no, but I'm saying you can move that deal.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, even if it meant eating like $2 million a year of it or something.
Right.
But you could move that deal.
Yeah, especially with the moves that they made on the third line. Like you think Colton Drury, and then they got Höglander yesterday. Like that's probably your third line. Maybe they have a role for Marchessault that I'm just not seeing, but I do think that they've added so much.
Well, where does Luke Evangelista fit in all this?
I think he's your on the wing on your first line.
On the first line with Forsberg and O'Reilly?
And O'Reilly, yeah.
Okay. And then you go
Stamkos, Bork, Wood.
Okay.
And then Colton Drury, Höglander. And then on your fourth line, some of the young guys, maybe Schaefer, Kimmel.
It's your energy line.
Right. Yeah. Pinchuk maybe is your center on that line, the guy from Russia. So I like it. And I think you make a good point too of you have so much draft capital and you can't house all these guys somewhere, right? There's only so many roster spots in Nashville and only so many roster spots in Milwaukee.
I guess you could send them down to like Cincinnati or something of the ECHL.
Atlanta is the Preds ECHL team.
Yeah.
So
used to be Cincinnati. Yeah.
Right. Like there's only so many spots that you can put these guys. It makes sense to consolidate and say, we really like Maverick Bork. The Stars aren't going to be able to keep him. Let's give them a second and a third, and he can be part of our right now, but also young enough to fit in with the Martins and the Lees and the Surins who are hopefully coming through the pipeline.
Now, Robbie also says that while he's a center, he thinks he's been on the wing a lot. And
so maybe Wood and Bork could be interchangeable.
Maybe. Yeah. Who knows? But, look, as long as he's a legit player, I'm there. And his name is Maverick
Bork,
which is kind of an awesome name.
That is a hell of a name.
And so, I could say, hey, let's go, Mav. Let's do some of that scoring stuff.
4312 thought it was spelled B-O-R-K and said that's an amazing jersey. I need to get that.
Well,
and
they had a bonk. They never had a Bork.
B-O-R-K would have been a great jersey, but it's B-O-U-R-Q-U-E.
Yeah, that's the traditional.
Yes. Craig on the text line says kind of what we were saying. The Preds AHL team is so deep and good. I'd rather trade those picks for NHL ready players than use them on a 50-50 chance.
Talking about.
Dustin in Hopkinsville says, in Robbie we trust. I'll take his word for it, especially with no hesitation, says he's a second liner. Nice. I agree. Yep. Robbie and Adam and Chase, those are our go-tos for hockey. Trevor says can't fit every draft pick down in Milwaukee. No issue with them using capital as ammo.
I looked at that, but like when all those deals were made,
right?
I was like, they can't make all these picks. They Milwaukee, they can't carry a roster of 48.
Right. Yeah. And I do think that Barry Trotz did a nice job of building up the cupboard for Chris McFarland, but
he traded away third and fourth line grinders,
right,
and loaded the cupboards with it.
Yes,
I mean that's what happened,
right?
I mean, you can find those guys, and I know you can say, well, Michael McCarron just got paid. That's fine. He was third and fourth line player,
right? And you were able to upgrade, you think, at least with what you've brought in. I mean, I think if you look at the guys that they let go, Bunting was good at times.
He scored.
Cole Smith had his moments. Michael McCarron again was kind of what you wanted in your fourth line center.
Cole Smith, Jeremy Lazan, and Colton Sissons just played for the Stanley Cup.
Right. So good players, but you were able to use some of that capital to go get Colton Drury, Höglander, and now Bork. Like I think
look, they've got a guy named Maverick and a guy named Höglander. It's just better.
Right. the broadcasts are going to be more fun this year with those names. 4312 says he has the Bonk jersey.
Oh.
Now, if his name was spelled Bork, that's a great, like, if you're going with your
Borky
wife or your
and Bonky?
girlfriend,
Yeah.
like, walk into the arena with Bonk and Bork next to each other. I think that'd be great. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will take your thoughts on the move the Preds just made. Chris McFarland trading a second and a third for the rights to Maverick Bork. He is a restricted free agent, will need a contract. Also get journeyman defenseman Ilya Lyubushkin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we're doing our best. 615-737-1025. We'll continue the conversation coming up next. We'll get into some Titans, some World Cup throughout the show as well. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you, reacting to the news. It is the opening day of NHL free agency, and the Preds have already made a move, and they just officially announced it. So we now know what the picks are in this move. The Preds have traded a 2027 second-round pick and Vegas's third-round pick in 2028 for Maverick Bork and Ilya Lyubushkin. So Maverick Bork, that's the centerpiece of that deal. 41 points as a 24-year-old last year. He comes in, and I would assume this is probably the big move that Chris McFarland is going to make. Dustin from Hopkinsville on the text line. It's starting to feel like we might only see one of these older stars traded off. Marchessault might be trying to build bottom up and compete immediately. And I would agree with that. I think that you probably are going to see somebody move. But to help us out into the analysis of this, we are joined now by Max Hers from Preds Radio. Max, appreciate you coming on short notice after this move that the Preds just made.
Yeah, of course, Jake. I saw it happen, saw it became official, and I got to admit, I texted you. I wanted to come on and talk about it right away. So
I love it.
It's my pleasure. This is a really big pickup for the Preds. Really good trade.
Yes, and it's definitely one of those players that fits into what Chris McFarland said that he wanted when he took the job. What are your initial impressions on Bourque as a player and where he fits in with this team right now and long term?
I think it's an unbelievable win in every regard. I think it's the type of player they want in terms of age, ability, pace, and position. I also think this was an incredible trade for the Preds, not just in terms of acquiring Bourque, but also what they gave up. A second and a third for Bourque, and taking Lyubushkin, the defenseman, is a favor for the Stars, but there are other teams that are doing bigger favors, taking on worse contracts with more term than Lyubushkin for 1 year at $3.25 million. Like that is why you have cap space. And I look at all the aspects of this swap, 2 players for 2 picks, and even though he's retired, you got to credit Barry Trotz because he left Chris McFarland with cap space and extra picks in the second and third round to do this with.
So we just got done having that conversation about, leaving him the opportunity to really maneuver the board.
Yeah, I just think it is the perfect move for where the Preds are at now and what led them to this point. I think it is the best possible transaction they could make.
And Max, they've made a lot of moves up front, Drury, Colton, Höglander, now Bourque. Do you think that there are other moves to come in terms of getting rid of some of the pieces that
he wants to know if they're going to trade Marchessault?
I mean, if he wants to go, then yeah. Especially since you're bringing another right shot who's probably going to play the wing. I guess he did play center either in the AHL or juniors. Bourque did. But I think you got to clear a little bit of room somehow. But look, don't count anything out. Free agency opens in 45 minutes. I think things can happen. And there have already been things that surprised us in the months that Chris McFarland has been the Preds GM, or less than a month. So I think anything could happen.
Well, Max, so grateful to have you on and have your knowledge on the situation, because I will be the first to admit I'm not a Maverick Bourque expert. But I do know that Chris McFarland has added speed to this Predator attack. And when I know the way that Andrew Burnett wants to coach and wants his team to play, he maybe didn't have the right kind of players to play the way they want to play the game. Do you think that Burnett is set up to succeed better right now than he was last year?
Absolutely. And it's not that he maybe didn't have the players to play his style the last couple of years. It's definitely true. And I think the reason that Barry Trotz allowed Andrew Burnett to continue as the Predators coach is because he did such a good job in that type of situation. And when Trotz said last year on the radio, he thinks the coaching staff is coaching their butts off, that's what he meant. They had to make changes to their style and their system, and it took time every year to put those new things in. And I think Bourque is an amazing fit. Like, to me, I for such a long time, before all the craziness of the trades with Rantanen happened, I thought of Logan Stankoven and Maverick Bourque in the same sentence. They came up together with the Stars. They were great for the Stars in the AHL. They're undersized guys, both right shots, both producers who have proven a lot of people wrong. And Stankoven, for some reason, agreed to a 7-year, $6 million a year contract before last season, which was ridiculous. I thought when it happened, I thought he should have fired his agent the moment that contract happened. And then he was, I think, the Hurricanes' best player in the playoffs. And he's only making $6 million for the next 6 years, which is insane.
Yeah,
so I think the Preds have a chance to lock up Bourque long term. And just because he didn't always get the A looks with the Stars, I think the Preds are getting him at a perfect point in his career when he is absolutely ready to take off. And like, I think in a way, the Preds could have just acquired the next Stankoven.
Do you think it's Wood, Stamkos, and Bourque on the second line?
That'd be interesting. If you got Stamkos on the left, yeah, I like that a lot. I've always liked O'Reilly, Evangelista, and Forsberg together.
Yep.
So I think you have the right thought, Corey, to put that trio together. But hey, remember 2 years ago today, we were talking about Tommy Novak, Steven Stamkos, and Jonathan Marchessault as the second line. And I don't think that line ever played a regular season shift together. So you
don't know how they all come together.
You don't put line sheets up in the summer.
Yeah, but you just try to figure out what makes sense and kind of, how this team is being put together. And obviously you'll try different combinations, and we've seen combinations change during the season. But, bottom line, like we talked about, if they're faster, if they're better skaters, if they can play every foot of the ice better, I think Andrew Burnett will have a lot more smiles on his face than he's had the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think this is a player, as long as he continues his trajectory and is a hard worker, which I imagine they've done their due diligence on to make sure that he is the type of hustle guy that they want, and he's not going to mail it in if he gets contract security or anything like that, that he is their exact guy. And I've never met Bourque. I've seen him play against the Preds. I think he's played against the Preds. Let's see, a handful of times here over the last couple of seasons, but I felt like him and Stankoven always had their best games together against the Predators. I don't think he's a guy who's ever going to give it up. He's played 6 games against the Preds, so I've seen him play 6 times.
Well,
but
as a play-by-play
I don't
guy,
think he's a guy you have to worry about.
As a play-by-play guy, I mean, a guy like Maverick, I mean, that's a great name for you, Max. You got to love that.
I know. I went right in and I sent the Preds broadcast group text the Top Gun gif right off the bat.
I was going to say.
Come on, do some of that scoring stuff.
You need some Top Gun references on the call this year, Max. It has to happen.
Yeah, I'm due for a rewatch of the original, too.
Bourque is supersonic.
Hey, yeah, make a list for me, Corey. You're better at this stuff than I am.
No, I just grew up with Top Gun. I'm old. I was like 14 when that movie came out.
I've already had to suggest plenty of calls for Kevin Ingram having Chandler Bing on Vanderbilt's team,
yeah.
so we'll have to work on some
Chandler Bing.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I wanted more of those too, Kevin. If you're listening.
Yeah, I was.
He's coming back.
We need if he hits a 3 or something. Could he be any more open or something like that? Max, this obviously is probably the biggest move we've seen so far this offseason from Chris McFarland. Do you think that there is more to come in terms of acquisitions, or do you think this roster's in a decent spot as it stands right now?
Well, they have enough players. So I think there will be more. I think it's just about who comes available. And I think McFarland, along with Rob Blake and Jamie Langenbrunner, who are the new Predators leadership trio, I think they're just playing what comes open to them. And I think we saw that during the draft, too. They started with 11 picks. I think they only ended up making 8 selections, if I'm correct, either 7 or 8, because they traded up, they traded out, and they took what was given to them. And one of the things that's really interesting to me is since they completely traded out of the second round to move late in the first and take Tommy Blyle, who's the first example of that, but they saw this speedy, do-it-all defenseman with a lot of offensive upside, and they said, we're going to take him at 31. And they got him. But they gave up the whole second round to do that. So they didn't pick for a while on day 2. And then by the time they had their first pick, they took a goalie, which they didn't have to do this year. But it was pretty clear that Dmitry Borichev, the Russian goalie who they took, who just turned 18, it was pretty clear that they had valued him as the best goalie in the draft. And a lot of analysts had that. And they said, you know what? He's there. We don't need anything else more than this right now. We're going to take him. So I think all of this underscores the way that we're learning how McFarland thinks. And it's not any different from what he did with the Avs. He did what he had to do when the opportunities were presented to him to do it.
Max, one thing I did want to ask you about is we're talking about the way these lines set up. There's a name we have not brought up in this, and that is Brady Martin. How does that affect his trajectory to the NHL and where he fits with this team? Because my assumption was he'd be on the team this year, but now I look at all the centers they've added, and I go, maybe he gets time to marinate, as they say in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think the only center they've traded for or acquired who is guaranteed to make the team is Jack Drury. So I think you can put Drury down as the 3C. I don't think Adam Edstrom, who they got from the Rangers, is guaranteed to make the team at all. I think he'll have every chance in camp to break camp with the big club. But I think Martin will have a chance to play some center and be in open competitions. Also, you got to remember he played some wing in preseason last year too, and that actually went okay. So that could be a path for him also.
I also wonder about him as the second line center and Wood sliding down to a third line forward along with Drury. So we'll see. We'll see.
Big move today for the Preds. Go ahead, Max.
I think they want to keep Wood down the middle, but again, no point in doing line sheets in July. It's fun to talk about, but,
right?
We'll see what happens in September.
That's Max's nice way of saying stop talking, Corey.
Well, as 0178 says, we've got Maverick. Whoever's on the line with Maverick Bork is going to be Iceman and Goose.
Well, we need Goose. We need to bring Paul Gosted back.
Yeah,
and we could absolutely have Maverick and Goose.
Well, they when the new Top Gun movie came out, which was 3 years ago,
which by the way is superior to the first one.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that a hot take?
I don't think so. It was awesome.
It was a great movie.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Preds did a Top Gun ticket pack for a game, and there was a shirt that came with it, and it was Matt Duchene in his final season on the team wearing the goggles and the headgear, and Saros was with him in the plane, and it said, "Talk to me, Juice." I've used that in some big save calls. I really like that. So
that's great.
Whoever in Preds marketing came up with that did a great job.
Talk to me, Juice.
Really well done. Max, we appreciate you coming on short notice to react to this move, and we will be sure to talk to you again soon as we see more things come down here from Chris McFarland.
Yeah, guys, my pleasure. Enjoy the rest of the day. I don't know if there's going to be a better move for the Preds than this.
Wow.
This is really the best they could do.
Yes, big move. Maverick Bork coming over, second and third round pick heading back to Dallas. Max, appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, guys, thank you.
Max Hurst from Preds Radio.
Wow. When we first heard this trade, we were trying to put it together, and everything, Max and Robbie both, they're just like, wow.
Right.
So this is big news.
Yes. And, those are two guys that we trust around here for their hockey insights. And when they're both saying this is the best move they're going to make all offseason, I think that makes you feel pretty good about it.
Well, that's why I said when they traded a second and a third, I may not have known a ton about him, but I knew he was part of the future of the team. You don't trade that away. It's like Jack Drury. They traded away two
former first-round picks,
first and a second, yeah.
They were both first-round.
Oh, they were both first-rounders?
LaRue and Svechkov.
Okay, I thought Svechkov was a second. But regardless, you've got to give something to get something, and these are changes to the core of your team. And I know Drury's the one, or is it the other guy? Is Colton, who's they really like in the face-off circle?
I think it's Drury.
Yeah, I think he was number one in the league last year, 58% or something like that. So there's guys who fit roles, and like you said, fit age groups. You're not getting old. You're getting prime, and that's what they're looking for, and they've done a nice job of it. And now it's up to the coaching staff to put it all together and see how it all works. By the way, speaking of skating, I watched Tommy Blyle at practice the other day, the development camp.
Yeah.
That kid can skate.
That's what we were talking about with Max, and Alex Jordy came on with us on Monday and said he's the fastest player in the entire draft class.
Okay,
so,
I didn't know that.
Fastest skater.
But as soon as I saw him on the ice, I'm like, that brother can skate.
Right.
He can go.
Here is another one from Sean Shapiro. For Predators fans, I'm a big fan of Bork from a couple years back. He really invested himself after down AHL rookie year and then won league MVP the year after. So
there you go.
So high praise around Maverick Bourque over the last 30 minutes since the trade came down. Again, the full deal, the Predators sending next year's second and the Vegas third in 2028 for Maverick Bourque and Ilya Lyubushkin. Bourque, obviously the centerpiece of that trade, likely going to be on the second line for the Predators coming up this year. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will take any reaction you have on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll talk some Titans. We'll talk some Preds. We'll talk some World Cup. Lots to get to for the rest of the show. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 125 The Game. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Reacting to the news this morning, Maverick Bourque being traded to the Nashville Predators. And, we talk about all the guys we trust for hockey, Robbie Stanley, Max Hers, and Chase McCabe just rolled in here and says, I love this trade. That was the first words out of his mouth.
That's the most animated I've ever seen Chase.
Yes. So
I'm pretty sure he sprinted here from his office.
I think the more it settles in on this trade happening, it made too much sense for the Predators. This is somebody the Stars couldn't keep because they're trying to go win a Stanley Cup right now. And they've got Jason Robertson, who they might have to trade, that maybe they can pay him. This might help them pay him, but they're in a cap crunch. They can't keep everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only way you're going to acquire a 24-year-old ascending young forward who had, 41 points isn't exactly, top of the league level numbers, but as a 24-year-old, his second year in the league,
it's more than Jack Drury.
He's only going to get better. Yeah, this is the most points that any of the acquisitions that Chris McFarland made.
I think this
is year.
I think this is highest ceiling player.
100%.
He's added. Outside of the draft.
Yes, yeah. In terms of players who are going to be on the Predators roster this year, this is the highest ceiling player that he's added. And I thought Chase made a good point is, they may not all be true centers that he's brought in, but Colton has played center. Drury, I think, probably is your true third-line center. Bourque has played center. So you're giving yourselves options, especially with a guy like Matthew Wood, who started on the wing, played well when he was at center, but you're not boxing yourself in anywhere where it's all right, we have 4 centers on the roster and no one else can play it.
He's built teams against the Predators for years, and he knows where they've come up short.
Right.
And it's at center ice. And he is trying to give Andrew Burnett what he needs at that position. And, he's got a bunch of guys. We're going to come up with 4, really 3 primaries who can really get it done.
Yep.
And so, and also these guys most of them can really skate. And,
yes.
And so that's important too. And so it's fun to see. It's not necessarily the fantasy hockey that Stamkos and Marcia show, but what it is roster building.
Yes. And we to link 2 of our conversations this morning, we were having a conversation about the Lady Vols and Kim Caldwell.
Yeah.
I think the summer 2 years ago was very similar to what Kim Caldwell did last year of look at these names. If we have an opportunity to get these names, why wouldn't we get them?
And you can't argue with it.
And it's you did it and it didn't work. Now, do you go back to trying to actually build a roster that can work with your coaching staff and all work together? And I think we're seeing strong process is the best way I can put it from Chris McFarland. I think the process is strong right now. Who knows what the results are going to be, but I have no issue with the way that Chris McFarland is maneuvering through this offseason.
Well, and again, free agency starts in 22 minutes. The name of the game this year is trades.
100%.
It's not a strong free agency period. So you're seeing this plethora of trades because that's where the talent acquisition is at. And so, he has acted quickly. He has acted aggressively, maybe not adding the Hall of Fame names, but like you talked about, getting guys who fit,
right?
Getting guys with a high ceiling and trying to move, forward with those guys, while your other young guys develop as well.
I really like the move. And, the more we hear from guys who are really keyed in on the NHL, it seems like this has been considered a home run for the Predators so far. Chris McFarland did have a quote in the release about this trade. Quote, let me make sure I'm pronouncing his name right. They've got the pronunciation in here. Maverick Bourque. There we go. Maverick Bourque is a quality two-way player who will fit perfectly with what we are trying to build here in Nashville. At just 24 years old, his age and style of play fits in with the type of players we are looking to bring in to help make us better. He also says, in addition, Ilya Lyubushkin is a veteran defenseman with significant experience who can log minutes and be a physical presence in our own end. We are excited to welcome both players to Nashville. So not a lot there on Maverick Bourque. I did want to look at it because when the Preds traded for Colton, they referred to him as a winger, which was telling of where they envisioned him playing. Mm-hmm. Nothing there that's going to tell you what they believe Bourque is going to play, but it's just nice to have some versatility. And it seems like he can play at center if they need him to, but also could be on the wing if they find somebody that they feel is a better fit there.
Yeah. It's nice to have options, and also creates competition. And, there's opportunity on this team, and, players know that they've got an opportunity to become a mainstay,
right?
And earn a lot of money and put up a lot of points. And look, they don't have to be a lot better to make the play. If they can play more to the way that Andrew Burnett wants them to play, I feel good about their opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think it's close to out of the question that this could be a playoff team next year. Now, playoff team doesn't mean that they're going to be a contender, but
yeah,
I do think that this team on paper looks better right now than it did at the end of the regular season.
Nobody thought they were a contender the year they went to the Cup final.
That's true.
And so you don't know. You don't know. Nobody thought Vegas was a contender going into the playoffs. They went to the Cup final. You just got to get there and then see how the matchups play out. And you just got to give yourself a seat at the table. And, like we said, none of these moves are blockbuster moves as far as they added Steven Stamkos.
Right.
But are they moves that make the team better? And you go, yeah, they make the team better.
And I think long-term for this roster, a move like this could be more valuable than, selling the house for Dylan Larkin or Jason Robertson, who are very good players right now. But Chris McFarland has said the core that they're building around is the next guys: Martin, Surin, Lee, Molendijk, Cullen, and Blyle that they just drafted. That's your core they're building around. Bork fits that. Whereas if you go get a guy
he'll still be there.
Right. And he probably will still be playing around his peak by the time those guys arrive. I think this is a great move for the Preds. Now, he may never become a superstar, but I think you're looking at a guy who is ascending, and he's going to have more opportunities to put up numbers this year with the Preds than he would have with the Stars last year, they were a loaded team all year long.
Yeah. And that's what happens sometimes. Guys get buried on loaded teams.
Right.
Not saying that that's necessarily what happens here, but it would make sense.
Yep.
It would make sense. And Jack Drury, kind of the same thing. Colorado, kind of loaded.
That is true. And people were making the jokes about, McFarland only trading with the Avalanche, but it's like, hey, you're trading for guys who were lower on the depth chart in Colorado and Dallas, who were the two best teams in hockey this year.
Don't you view Drury as Colton Sissons?
Yeah. Maybe upgraded Colton Sissons,
maybe
turn back the clock Colton Sissons.
Yeah, higher end.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they talk about. Guy's going to play defense. He's going to kill penalties. He's going to win face-offs.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like
that was Colton Sissons.
Right. So
Colton Sissons was your Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
Whatever you need, he will do it.
I think that's what they view Drury as.
Yeah.
And I love this move with Bork too. Chris McFarland, strong start to his tenure with the Nashville Predators. 615-737-1025. We'll take any more of your thoughts that you have on this move. Again, if you missed it, Elliot Friedman, Pierre LeBrun reported initially. Now it's been reported by the Preds that the Nashville Predators have traded for Maverick Bourque and Ilya Lyubushkin, sending back a 2027 second and the Vegas third-round pick in 2028. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly will wrap up hour number 2 after this here on Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. NHL free agency opening up in just over 10 minutes. Preds have already made a big move this morning, bringing in Maverick Bourque from the Stars, trading a second and a third to get him in probably your second line. Can play center, can play wing. You also get Ilya Lyubushkin in the trade from Dallas. Let's go to the phone lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Ryan is called in wanting to chime in. Ryan, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Yes, guys, is there any chance the Preds can get Dylan Larkin? And I think he'd be a great asset. He brings speed to the table. Kind of your guys' thoughts on Dylan Larkin?
I mean, I like Dylan Larkin. I don't think he's going to want to come here. And I just don't know if it fits the way that Chris McFarland's trying to build this roster right now. Let's look at Dylan Larkin and what he did with the Red Wings. He still is on a big contract. That's why it was so surprising that he requested a trade.
8 years, $70 million, basically.
Right. Last year, he had 67 points in 74 games. He's 29 years old, which is kind of just on the borderline of that age range that Chris McFarland said he wanted to target. He's a good player. He would help this team. He would make this team better. I don't know if it's worth the assets that you would have to give up to go get him.
Well, and I don't know where they are as far as wanting to acquire big contracts.
Right. Big contracts for 29 is not old, but it's also not.
I think it's just past the window that he wants to add. And you are absolutely right, Ryan. He's a great player and you don't mind adding great players.
Right.
We're just looking at the way they have moved to this point and the types of players they've added. But, maybe you package a Marchessault with some picks and.
Yeah, like I think maybe that would be the type of deal that you'd have to do with it is you send one of your veterans, Marchessault or O'Reilly
or a Luke Evangelista.
Yeah, I don't know. But I would say no. The trade market, as you said, is that's the way most teams are going to try and build their roster this offseason because there's just not a lot of good free agents out there. I'm sure you saw Zach Werenski said he vetoed a trade to Dallas last night too, which is strange.
Yeah, that is strange.
So it's going to be one of the more unique off seasons in the NHL, just because if you want to improve your team and you want to go all in for a cup run and go get one of these guys, it's probably going to cost you a lot because that's teams are holding firm on their prices because they're asking, what else are you going to do? If you want this player, who are you going to go get as an alternative? Because there's no one out there.
A 30-goal scorer for 5 straight years. That speaks volumes. And at 29, he probably got 4 really good prime years still in him. So, look, I wouldn't put it off the table.
I wouldn't say off the table, but I would say I think the Bourque move might be the biggest move that they make this offseason.
Because they gave up a second and third for him. You're going to have to give up more to get a Dylan Larkin.
And I don't think they're worried about the draft capital, but you're right. They've gone from having an overflowing cupboard of draft capital to basically just an average one.
Look, I mean, if you're Detroit and you're making that deal, you probably want somebody. You just want picks.
Right. You want somebody to help you now.
You might want Matthew Wood.
Yeah.
Luke Evangelista, Matthew Wood, one of these young,
ascending
prospects who's proved he can kind of play in this league. Or, maybe they want Reicherle and another prospect. I mean, I'm just saying that they're going to want something. They're going to want more than a second and a third.
Right.
And so you look at what the Preds have got and you add Dylan Larkin to it, it's not going to look the same because you're going to have to give away 1 or 2 of those pieces that are there to get that move made. Now, it could be worth it. It could be worth it, but this would not be a cheap trade to make.
No, it wouldn't. And you look now at the draft capital. Preds, after this deal, now have their own first in 2027, the Golden Knights second next year, and 2/3 next year. So they still have, again, not horrible draft capital.
Yeah, but I think you're looking at ones.
right
for Dylan Larkin.
And you only have your own one moving forward. So
I mean, we talk about 2 1s for Ryan O'Reilly, right? Isn't that what we were talking about last year?
Yes.
Okay. Then what's the price for Dylan Larkin, who's 29 years old?
Right. And we've seen the moves this offseason so far with Kachuk and Bowen Byram got traded for the 4th overall pick and more. So it's like, in order to get a guy like Larkin, it's going to cost a lot. Like Kevin from Smyrna says, Marchessault and a pick for Larkin. Where do I sign? Yeah. If that was the deal, if it was Marchessault and a first for Larkin, I think you'd do it.
I was putting it together saying, well, you could package Marchessault and some ones, but I'm like, you're going to need another player.
Yeah.
You're going to need a young ascending player.
I would guess, like, if you included Marchessault in it.
Yeah, well, you're trying to get rid of him.
And again, I am not the expert on what trades would cost in the NHL, but like in my mind for Larkin, I would think Marchessault, 1st round pick, and then one of your young guys like Wood.
I think it would be more than that.
It might even be more than that.
I think it would be more than that.
Maybe Wood and one of your prospects like Riker Lee. Like
yeah. I mean, next year's one, Wood, Marchessault, Evangelista. You
are having to take on his contract, though.
You are, but he scored 30-plus goals 5 straight seasons.
Yeah.
And he's 29 years old. They're not just going to give him away for nothing.
Right. So we will see what the Preds have up their sleeve over the next few days. Again, free agency opens up in about 7 minutes here. So
I think the AC's fixed.
It does feel like it's getting cooler in here.
Ava, what do you think?
I don't know. It feels the same.
Well, thank you. She's a woman of many words. That's my daughter. She's here with us today.
Yes, we have a special guest in studio. You can be our temperature expert here. Meteorologist here in studio. It is still very hot.
It is,
but it does feel like it's starting to.
Some cool air seeping in.
It feels like it's gotten even more hot.
We will see. We'll check out in the break. 615-737-1025. Free agency about to get going. I'm keeping an eye on X on Twitter to see if there's any news. I haven't seen anything huge come down around the league yet.
Look at Atlanta, England, and Democratic Republic
of Congo. Yeah. We've seen some upsets so far in the knockout rounds.
This is a sight.
Yeah, that crowd looks unbelievable.
Yeah. England prevails.
U.S. is in San Francisco tonight.
Santa Clara.
Sorry. Yes,
they're about an hour apart. Jake.
That's
like calling Murfreesboro Nashville.
But
come on,
it's San Francisco Bay Area Stadium that they're playing in.
Okay, Bay Area,
not Levi Stadium.
Greater Northern California.
It's the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium, just like they're playing in Atlanta Stadium.
It's like Corey calling me Connor.
No, that's worse.
It is worse.
That is way worse. What was worse, when I called you a moron or
I think I'd rather be called a moron.
615-737-1025. I think we've covered about as much as we can on the board trade as we know right now. We're excited about it. I think this is a great deal for the Preds, and it's a young player who you can build around moving forward. Max had some great insights. We've heard from a lot of people who liked it.
Robbie,
we will keep our eye on Elliot Friedman and the other insiders. See if there's any more news.
You mean
Hockey
Shefty?
Yeah, Hockey Schefter. Yeah, and then Hockey Rappaport, Pierre LeBrun. We will.
Who is the Schefter of hockey?
I think it's Friedman.
It's Friedman.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's Friedman.
Friedman's the number one guy.
He's Friedman.
And he was on with DVD yesterday. I want to say that he might have mentioned Maverick Pork as a possibility. So. We will keep an eye on the insider, see if anything comes down for the Preds before we get off the air. But we will talk some Titans coming up next. We'll get into the World Cup as well as the U.S. gets ready to take the pitch tonight. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Final hour on this Wednesday. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly with you, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Been a busy show so far. Preds making a deal for Maverick Bork from the Dallas Stars. Spent the last hour on that. Max Hers joined us, so if you missed that, you can go check it out on the podcast. World Cup underway for the day. England and DR Congo facing off.
Yeah, Harry Kane and England. I don't think England has been great in this tournament to this point.
No.
But they are still very capable of doing very well. They're a strong favorite in this one.
Yeah.
But as we've seen with Germany and the Netherlands both going down, I mean, it's been a shocking first round.
Yeah.
It really has.
Most of the games have come down to either goals in stoppage time at the very end or penalty kicks.
Brazil barely took out Japan.
Right.
Could you imagine we'd lost Brazil as well in the first round?
I know. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So we'll keep an eye on this one for you. The U.S. plays tonight against Bosnia and Herzegovina. We'll talk about that game later on. But I did tease it before the Maverick Bork news that we're going to play some Titans higher or lower for the 2026 season.
Derailed.
Cory gave me this idea on Sunday when I went on Sports Extra. So we're going to go through. I did not look at like Vegas odds for this because Did
you make your own?
I made my own.
Okay, I do that sometimes.
Because I felt like I have an idea of what's reasonable, and sometimes the Vegas odds, it doesn't take into account people who actually cover the team daily.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Cam Ward here. We're going to do Cam Ward. We're going to do offensive skill positions, and we'll do defense.
Okay.
And we're going to go higher or lower. Parker, you're playing too.
Parker,
all right.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
All right. Starting with Cam Ward.
Yep.
Over or under, higher or lower, 3,650 yards.
That's a lot. I thought you were going to say 3,250. So
last year he had right around that, 32-ish.
Well, 200.
He had 3,169 last
200 a game would be 3,400 a game, or 3,400 for the season. Add another 10.
It would be
10.
It would be like
70.
It would be like 220 yards a game.
Yeah, not quite. Probably 215. I'm going to say under.
Under 3,650. Parker, what are your thoughts?
Is there a way for me to say around that?
Yeah, we can say, if you want to say right there.
Okay. I'm confident Cam Ward can make the jump. About 400 more passing yards than last season. I think he could do it.
Okay.
Consider this, that there's, and I know that history has no bearing, but we've never had a Titans quarterback here throw for 4,000 yards.
Right.
I don't know how many have thrown for over 3,650. I mean, Tannehill might be it. And so you'd be talking about an historic season. That doesn't mean it can't happen, but I'm just saying that's a really big jump. That's a really big jump.
It is a big jump.
And so, am I saying it's impossible? No, I'm not.
There have only been 2 Titans quarterback seasons, Titans, not Oilers, Titans quarterback seasons over 3,650, Ryan Tannehill in 2020 and 2021.
Okay, there you go.
So
I'm going to go under
okay.
just because it's such a big leap.
Not a slam dunk for him to hit 4,000.
Stop it. Stop it.
He's going
over. That's my worst take of all time. It was just such an overestimation on Brian Callahan.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you weren't the only one who had high hopes that year.
Because, we'll get back on this conversation. I thought the Titans were going to become this really pass happy team, which is kind of what they tried to be, but they just weren't good enough to do it. They couldn't block well enough, and Levis couldn't play well enough. And so that's what I was basing it on.
Right.
Is I thought,
they were going to throw the ball a whole lot more.
Yeah. I'm like, they're going to sling it and they're going to throw for, 230 yards a game. Yeah, for sure. And so, that's, and I believed Levis, and I still believe Levis has some ability.
Yeah.
And so I overshot. I understand that. I live with it. I live with the shame of it. And that's fine. But so we'll see on Cam Ward this year. That I have to go under until I see him go over.
I am totally good with that. 3,650 is the number that I had for Cam Ward. Cory goes under. Parker says it's about right. All right, 20 passing touchdowns for Cam Ward.
I like that. I go over. I know the Vegas number is under that. It's like 18 or something.
Right.
And
that's why I was like, I'm just going to kind of make up my own based on gut feel here.
No, I mean, I think with I look at Carnell Tate. He's a long player. I think he's a good red zone target. I think that the tight end is a good red zone target. I think Wan'Dale Robinson's a guy who can win off the line of scrimmage and catch some short touchdown passes. And so I think over. I'm not going to say how much over.
Yeah.
But you're asking me over under 20. I'm going to go over.
Yeah. He had 15 last year.
Yeah. And had like 0 for like 7 weeks.
Right.
He just needs to get off to a quicker start and he'll hit that number.
He just needs to not have Brian Callahan as his coach.
Also true.
I want to say he had 10 in the last 8 games of the season.
Yeah.
So
he had 4 in a row with 2 touchdown passes after Callahan got fired.
And also barely played at all in the game against the Jaguars.
And by the way, the one drive he played was maybe the best drive of the season.
Right. Parker, over under 20 touchdowns.
I'm also going over. I think Cory hit the nail on the head. Carnell Tate is a guy that goes up for every single pass that he catches. Good red zone target, assuming he stays healthy.
Jim Dike can also make plays with the football.
Wan'Dale Robinson's very good in short space. Gunnar Helm, I think, is going to be primarily relied upon in the red zone. I do think Cam Ward goes over 20.
I would say I think probably slightly over. Because what? 20?
Well, only needs to be 21 to win.
Right. Because 20 is barely more than 1 per game.
Yeah. And look, I think we're all confident they're going to score 20 points a game this year.
They're going to score more than they did last year.
Yes.
Yeah. And only had 15 passing touchdowns last year. I think 20, I would say over there. Interceptions for Cam Ward. Last year he had 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to set the over under at 8.
Mm-hmm. It's a good question. That's hard. I mean, 7 is not many.
He only threw 1 after the bye, maybe 2 after the bye.
He had several interceptable balls.
Oh, wow. Congo just scored.
Congo's on the board. Oh, look at that backflip.
Backflip, spin.
I'm going to go over. I mean, I know he takes good care of the football, but, it only takes a couple of tips to send that thing the other direction.
Yeah.
And so I'll go over.
And 7 last year was pretty low. I think
it was really good.
I would be okay if he threw a couple more picks, got rid of the fumbling issue.
Yes. The ball security issue. But look, if he had 21 and 10, you'd probably be pretty good with that, right?
Right. He had last year, he only had 2 fumbles last year. I guess
the one that fell out of his hands for the touchdown.
No, that can't be right.
No,
because it says no fumbles lost.
No, that's impossible. Look, the back half of the season, he cleaned it up.
They must not call fumbles
the
in the pocket as fumbles. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it says he only had 2 fumbles. He had more than that. If he can clean up that part of ball security, I'd be okay with a couple extra picks. I would say over, but slightly. Parker, over under 8 interceptions for Cam.
So I'm also going to go over, and here's why. I think Cam Ward's going to take more chances across the middle with all the new weapons that he has, and I think that'll lead to more balls that are intercepted.
Balls that get tipped up high. I agree with
you. Because, I mean, he did get lucky a lot last year. You may not get lucky again.
Yeah, he had more interceptable passes than interceptions last year.
That is a statistic. That he got away with some.
Yes, the turnover worthy throws.
Yes, and so you like you just said, you can't expect to get away with that 2 years in a row. So we'll see what happens with that. Look, I'm not going to be concerned unless he becomes this Jameis Winston interception machine. Was it Brian Callahan who said that every interception has its own story?
I think it was. Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah,
he's not wrong because. Look, I think receiver interceptions should become a stat.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of receiver has the ball bounce off his hands, the guy picks it off, and the quarterback gets an interception on his stat line. What is that? What is that?
Yeah,
that's a receiver interception. And I'm not sitting here saying, well, he's only going to have a receiver interception. I'm just saying every one of them is different. End of the half, throwing up for grabs.
Right.
Just either we're getting 6 points or the half's over.
Right.
And you throw an interception. That one goes on line as an interception.
And you look back after the season and nobody's oh, well, it says he has 11 interceptions, but 3 of those were Hail
drops
Marys
and 2 were Hail Marys.
I am a big fan of adjusted quarterback stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I would love an adjusted quarterback stat at the end of the season.
Because what happens if you hit a guy in the hands and he drops it?
Right.
That looks bad on you,
Yeah.
but really you threw a good ball, the receiver just dropped it, or vice versa.
But are you also going to adjust if a receiver makes just an unbelievable grab?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Or,
you can do
you know,
it. There are the advanced analytics for that.
It does even out, right? Like there are probably plenty of interceptions that don't fall on the quarterback,
Sure.
but it evens out with defensive backs having bricks for hands and dropping balls. So, you know,
Or if you throw a screen and it's like a 2-yard pass and the running back takes it 70 yards.
Oh, right.
Like, that makes you look really
and the quarterback
good.
gets 70
Yes.
yards
Yes.
passes.
Right.
Yes.
So if we kind of put our heads together here, just a, stat line here for Cam Ward, 3,500 yards.
36.
No, I'm saying like if we go a little under, so let's say 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Do you feel good about that with Cam Ward? I obviously you don't want a box score watch, but like,
that's progress.
I think that's a step
I'd be
forward.
happy with that. Yeah.
It's a step forward.
That'd be growth. That'd be growth. Absolutely. You know what it is? It's more points on the board.
That is true.
That's
More touchdowns.
Yes.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll take your thoughts on this. We're going to go through the rest of the roster, starting with the skill positions next. We'll talk about what Carnell Tate could do as a rookie. What is Wan'Dale Robinson's expectations for his first year as a Titan? Tony Pollard, Gunnar Helm, and more. 615-737-1025. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up. 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. United States back on the pitch tonight against Bosnia and Herzegovina, trying to advance to the round of 16. And I believe the next game after this one is Belgium and Senegal. So
that's a good day.
So we will find out who the U.S. would face if they were to advance to the round of 16. Neither of those teams are going to be easy draws if the U.S. is able to win tonight.
Well, we're finding out right now nobody's an easy draw.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
The Congo up 1-0 on England. 15
Just
minutes in.
punched England right in the nose.
It's early, but another upset could be brewing early on in these knockout stages. We are going through the Titans 2026 season and playing higher or lower.
Okay,
I've come up with numbers for a lot of these players, and I want to see
we'll go
what
faster
are
on
expectations. Let's go fast here for skill positions.
Okay,
Carnell Tate is the big name.
Yeah,
number 4 overall pick. Everybody excited for his rookie season. Over or under 900 yards this year?
I think a few weeks ago, before I saw him at OTAs and mandatory minicamp, I would have said under, and I would probably have thought 700 or 800. I think over. I think I'm going to go over. I mean, I'm not sure if he'll hit 1,000, but he looks like the stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go over 2. We just saw Agbuka, Tet McMillan have big rookie years. I think that Carnell Tate can do the same. I'm going to say over. I would hope he gets to 1,000. I don't know, but I think he gets over 900. Parker, higher or lower, 900 yards for Carnell Tate?
He needs to go over. I'm with Cory. I saw him at training camp too, or mini camp. He looks great.
Highest end receiver they've got when you just look at talent.
Yes. But my feelings on this. You drafted him 4th overall. He needs to have at least 1,300 yards within his first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So he needs to go over.
My concern is volume to Wan'Dale Robinson. How much does that take away from him? But, if he can do 68, 70 catches for 950 to 1050, that'd be a great rookie year.
Do you think he could have a Malik Neighbors type rookie season? Because Neighbors had 1,200.
And that was in a Dable offense.
Yeah, but I mean, Malik Neighbors really a freakish athlete.
He was also their only.
Yeah, I mean, are we?
Wan'Dale was on that.
Wan'Dale had 93 catches that year.
Yeah, but I'm saying, athletically, are we putting Carnell in that category?
Carnell not as fast.
Not the prospect Malik Neighbors was.
I think. I will say I do think Carnell Tate has better hands.
Yes, his hands are very long, very large.
But Neighbors is a better athlete.
Neighbors got 170 targets as a rookie.
Yeah, and I don't think Carnell Tate's going to get 100.
I don't think he's getting 100.
He had 109 receptions,
109 catches, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns for Malik Neighbors.
So maybe we're undershooting him. I mean, because you're saying this is Brian Dable.
All we gotta do is say over. I think he goes for 1,000.
900, I feel like is a decent mark to set it at, and I would say over. Okay. 6 touchdowns for Carnell Tate.
Yeah, I say
higher, lower.
Look, I think it's minimum 6. I say over.
Yeah, me too.
I agree. I've continued to say I want Tet McMillan's rookie season from Carnell Tate. I think that is a good bar to set. Tet McMillan had 70 catches, 1,014 yards, 7 touchdowns. If he does exactly that, that is a great success for Carnell Tate in year 1. Let's see.
Yeah, Congo is all over England.
Let's go with Wan'Dale Robinson, 700 yards.
Over. They paid him too much money to go under.
Parker?
I hate agreeing with Cory so much. I think he's going to go over too.
I mean, I did make this number, but I'm going to say just about right.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to get the volume he did last year, and he had just over 1,000 yards.
His volume back-to-back years. Last year, though, his yards per catch went way up.
Yeah, I think Wan'Dale's going to have more receptions than Carnell Tate. I think he'll lead the team in receptions, but Carnell Tate will have more yards.
Yeah, because he'll have longer catches. Yeah.
I think 700, 750, probably about right. If I had to lean one way, I'd go over. But I'd
probably go over 8.
You'd go over 8. Wow.
I'd probably go over
8.
He
did have 1,000 yards last year. That was
I'm telling you, like once they get inside the 5, Cam is going to find Wan'Dale.
Well, and we're going to go through these. I'm going to tell you guys, like, not everybody can go for 1,000 yards.
Right.
And so there are guys I think will go under.
Yep.
And so just to put that out there. Go ahead.
Well, I didn't put a ton of the other receivers on here because
Well, how about Gunnar Helm? Did you put that?
I put Gunnar Helm.
Okay, let's
Gunnar
do
Helm. Let's go over under 500 yards.
See, I'm going to go under.
I think slightly under 2.
Because Dable doesn't use his tight ends a whole lot.
No, and that's what I hear the Titans players. Oh, he uses his tight ends a lot. No, he doesn't.
Gunner's going to be used more in the red zone.
It's Dawson Knox.
Yeah,
Dawson Knox, the guy who catches 1 or 2
Same
passes
with Bellinger.
a game. Well, he's a blocker.
Yeah,
but they even drafted Theo Johnson.
Yeah,
right.
And they didn't use the heck out of him.
They
had Darren Waller for a little while, and he flashed.
And Gunner doesn't need to be used much outside of the red zone. I mean, like they'll use him.
Yeah,
but he's a red zone guy.
For Gunner, I see 350 to 450.
I would have said 400-ish, but I think the touchdown number needs to go up. 5 touctouchdowns, higher or lower.
That is. I'm gonna go 6. I'm gonna go slightly over.
I'm gonna go under.
I think
I'm thinking 4.
Man, I'd like to see Helm get more like 5, 6, 7 touchdowns somewhere in there. But
okay, you're stacking up touchdowns.
Right, I know. If you're saying that Tate's gonna have more than 6, it's like
if we said 7 for Tate, 6 for Helm, and how many
that
for,
leaves
like 8 for Wandale? How many is that?
21.
That's 21. That's all the ones that we had for Campbell.
So you can't. Not everybody can have this huge.
That is true. Yeah. You can't throw to everybody on every single.
That's why, I'm looking at Gunnar Helm saying 404.
Yeah, I think. I would probably say 5 is about right. I would say under on Wan'Dale Robinson's touchdowns, though. He's never been a great touchdown
I think that's fair. Yeah,
I would say I'd put him more at like 5 or 6.
Yeah. Did we throw a touchdown number
I didn't put one out for him, but I would
throw it out then.
6.
I'll go under.
Yeah, I'm going to say under for Wan'Dale.
I'll go 5.
So that's under.
Let's go to the ground game here. Okay. Tony Pollard's had 1,000 yards in each of his first 2 seasons with the Titans. I'm going to go a little lower here. Do you think he gets to 900 this year?
Yeah, because all he does is get 1,000 yards. I mean, he's gotten 1,000 yards on back-to-back craptastic teams.
That's true.
All right. And, I know they're saying that he and Tajay are, clear 1-2. Tajay has never proven he can stay healthy for any length of time whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, look, I think, you wonder if the offensive line will be better. We still don't know. That center and right guard spot are still problematic. But last year, once they got some of the offensive line figured out and Luke Stocker kind of took over the run game.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard could still tote the rock. And so, 1,000 yards in a 17-game season is less than 60 yards a game.
Yeah.
And so I will go, was it 900?
900.
Yeah, I'll go over 900.
I'm going to say slightly under. I think, I don't know if you can rely on Tajay Spears to be
What do you mean you don't know?
I said I don't think you can rely on
I thought you said I don't
know
if you can.
I don't think you can rely on Tajay Spears.
Corey was ready to get at you.
No, I was just like, no, there's no way you can say.
Maybe I did say no, but like I meant I don't think you can rely on Tajay Spears. But you've added more, like Nick Singleton's in that room. I think he's going to take some carries as the year goes along.
Yeah, look, they sound like they like him, but in the words of their head coach, he's got a lot of work to do.
Right.
So
I just think by the end of the year, it may not be Tony Pollard getting 20 plus carries a game.
No. I mean, it'd be nice to see Singleton get sprinkled in there at some point. But yeah.
I'm going to go slightly under. I'm going to say like 850, 875 for Tony Pollard this year. Parker, what are you thinking with Tony?
So what we have here is Corey has taken my mind. He's opened it and he's reading straight from it because everything that he said, I agree with. Tony Pollard's got just over 1,000 yards the last 4 years. Can't rely on Tajay Spears. That's one of the things that drives me crazy about him because the talent is clearly there, but he can't stay healthy. Can't rely on him. Don't know what to expect from Singleton. I'm going 1,000 yards for Tony Pollard. Give me the over.
All right. You guys are both over on Tony. He does have 1,000 yards in 4 straight years. One of, I believe,
and just over too.
One of 2 running backs to do that.
Pretty much did it last year,
but less than 1,100 all 4 years.
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
So right in the middle.
He has actually no. He had 1,007 in 2022, 1,005 in 2023, 1,079, 1,082 in his 2 years with the Titans. Yep. He's had 5 touchdowns each of the last 2 years.
He got hosed
higher
last year.
Or lower 5 touchdowns.
I'm gonna go over.
I'm going to go over too. I think they'll be better in the red zone this year.
He'll have more opportunities.
For Tony Pollard?
Over under 5.
Give me the over.
Over. Okay. We're all big on Tony Pollard scoring touchdowns.
I think 7 or 8 running touchdowns.
A lot of overs being taken to
yeah, I know.
But the numbers are down because they've been so bad offensively.
I'm trying to be reasonable with the numbers, which I think has left us with a lot of overs. But
but I mean, as we talked about, I went Gunnar Helm under. If you gave me Calvin Ridley, I would go under probably on whatever you're going to throw me on that.
Right.
So there are guys that and Tajay Spears, I'm going to probably go under on whatever you give me on that. So there are guys I was prepared to go under on.
I just gave you a lot of the over ones.
Yes, you gave me the guys who are supposed to get it done. I think the really difficult one is Chimdike.
Yeah, let's do Chimdike here.
Would say 500.
I'm going to go lower than that. I was going to say 400 yards for Chimdike.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, but I like Chim. I'm going to go over.
I'm going to go under. I just don't think he gets the opportunity to. I think he's going to be on the field, but he's going to get less targets than last year with adding Carnell Tate, adding Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm gonna say under 400 for Chimdike.
He's got to average 30 yards a game to get 5'10. So I'm going to go over. And I don't know what your touchdown number is. I'm going to go. I will go 4 touchdowns, whether that's over or under.
I think he's going to be a low volume, high impact player.
I think he is a yards per catch guy.
Right. That's what I think it's going to be.
So he could be like a 38 catch, 500 yard guy.
Yeah.
I think of like a Rashid Shaheed type, but with a smaller role in the offense.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the under 2. Yeah. I think because he's going to be wide receiver 5.
Yeah, right.
Who's 4?
Alec Aomanor.
He might. DK
really
might
think so?
be 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those two, you could tell me one's 4, one's 5, and I'd believe you. Like, I think it just depends on their role, though. Like, they're going to play different roles. Alec probably is going to be more on the outside. Chim, you can move around more. He could play in the slot.
I like Alec. His hands betray him at times.
Yes.
And the explosiveness of DK, I think he's got to be on the field.
I do too. I think he'll be on the field. I just don't think
his big play.
There's only so many yards to go around.
I think he's going to be used more like a Khalif Raymond.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good.
But like, see, I sit here and Calvin Ridley's coming back, and I'm just like, I'd rather see Chimdike on the field.
That's fair. And maybe as the year goes on, Ridley's role diminishes and you see more of Alec and Chim.
I just say that because he's part of the future of this team, and Ridley is not.
Right.
I want him out there. I want to see that relationship build, and I want to see if he can do it.
Yeah. No, it's a good point.
I'm a genius.
That wide receiver, yes.
Dable will use him a lot better than Callahan, though, because he'll just send him on
throw bubble screens,
transcontinental crossers, right? That TD refers to.
Yeah, where you can turn it upfield. Absolutely.
Yeah. Even Mike McCoy and Bo Hardigree knew how to use Chimdike better. When he had it was like 7 catches for 17 yards, and
it was like watching the Water Boy.
Yeah,
when they had an idiot's guide to football on the sideline and they were laughing.
I'm pretty sure anybody that's played Madden knows better.
Yeah,
and every time he was on the field, like, oh, here comes the bubble screen. Yep. Oh, there's 4 guys all over him. I'm like, what are we doing here? Do we have a scouting department?
Just sitting in the box, just
and then it's like
slamming my head.
As
on
soon
the
as
table.
Callahan left, they started using him downfield. And
it
worked. It's like, oh wow,
whoa.
Has this guy been here the whole time?
Yeah,
he can do it. He's fast.
Well, that's why everybody keeps talking about getting speed on the outside. He's got speed.
Yeah.
They got to, I mean.
Chim's a legit burner.
He could be your go route guy.
By the way, did you see Chim just got engaged?
Yes, no. I did. His fiance plays in the National Women's Hockey League.
That's right, she does. He wore her jersey.
She looks like she could play in the NFL.
Yeah, she's a hockey player.
Yeah.
She's good too, I want to say.
I'm gonna guess he met her at Wisconsin.
I think so.
That sounds right.
They love their hockey in Wisconsin.
Yes, they do.
The Badgers can play hockey.
And fill up at the bubbler.
Yes. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. All of our football offseason coverage on 1025 The Game is presented by Tennessee Brewworks and Parman Tractor and Equipment. Parman Tractor and Equipment providing totally outrageous customer service. Visit parmantractor.com and raise a glass with Tennessee Brewworks.
Man, I am sweating.
It is hot in here. It is. On the text line, Scott in Shelbyville says the Preds are making major moves, and you guys are talking about the Titans.
We just talked about the Preds.
We talked about the Preds for a whole hour.
For an hour. Go back and listen to it if you'd like to. But, there's nothing else going on. I guess there is some news here. Eric Holla has signed a 2-year deal with Los Angeles. So,
good player.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be a solid player for somebody, but the Preds filled his role already.
I mean, look, well into his 30s.
Right.
So, yeah, you move on.
Yes.
And that's not against him. But as far as where the Preds are, you're moving on and you're getting faster.
Right. And they got younger guys who could be part of the long-term core.
Jeremy
We talked a lot of Preds, Scott. If you want to go back, listen to it, you can. If there's any more news, we're keeping an eye on all the insiders and we will get to it. But
I think it was actually an hour and 15 minutes.
Yes, it was a lot. We talked a lot of Preds during the show today. We are going to finish up our over-under on the Titans with the defense coming up next.
World Cup at 11:45.
Yes, we will finish the show with some World Cup talk as the U.S. men's
Ava
national
has
team.
things to say.
Yes, we want to get Ava's thoughts on what the U.S. could do tonight against Bosnia and Herzegovina. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Little Toby Keith for you. The U.S.
I've heard of Toby Keith.
Trying to take down Bosnia and Herzegovina tonight. Crazy that FIFA's rigging it and having the U.S. have to face two countries.
Yeah, that's like when we lost to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, do they get two goaltenders? Goalkeepers, sorry.
That would be interesting.
That was one of the podcast clips I saw the other day of the parody of American fans where they're like, Christian Pulisic is the LeBron James of soccer.
2 countries, 2 times the pain.
It's these guys they're in America soccer jerseys and sunglasses, and they're like, this kid Boppy, he might not be the LeBron James of soccer like Christian Pulisic, but he's pretty close.
That's what Connor said to me yesterday.
Yes.
It's like Christian Pulisic, really good for an American.
Yeah. No, for sure.
That's what it is.
No,
really good for an American.
I love the Americans embracing soccer for 6 weeks here during the summer. Oh, here goes England.
I'll tell you what has been great for soccer and the growth of soccer and for the World Cup is the great players playing great soccer.
Yes.
That has been.
Yeah, I mean,
save by the Congo. Oh my goodness.
The defender just ate that shot.
But yeah, I mean, watching Messi, Mbappe, and Haaland, and who else am I missing? Ronaldo,
right? Messi,
and Harry Kane.
Haaland has been unbelievable.
Yeah. He's becoming an action figure.
Yeah.
But watching these guys just pile up the goals.
Yeah.
Yamal,
it's for Spain. Yeah.
But watching these guys, you know, if you tuned in to watch these guys, which is something people will have done because these are the guys they've heard of, and then to see them perform at that level, that's entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, Mbappe yesterday,
special. Whew. Yeah. Yeah. So no, it has been fun. The great players have played their best football, their best soccer throughout the World Cup.
Messi's ridiculous.
He is. They play tomorrow, I want to say, maybe Friday.
Didn't they just play the other night?
They haven't played in their knockout stage yet. Right. I don't believe. News from Elliot Friedman: Mason Marchment sounds like he's heading to San Jose. Word is 5 years, $7 million. So again, free agency is open. We're keeping you updated on any big news that comes down. That's probably the biggest deal that's been made to this point in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
The Devils did extend Nico Hischier 5 years, $11.7 million.
Okay.
So we'll keep you updated there, but we're finishing up our game of higher or lower with the Titans with the defense.
Okay.
Let's start with Big Jeff.
All right.
Big extension for Big Jeff Simmons. Does he get double-digit sacks again? Over, under 10 sacks this year?
This is a tough one because that's a huge year for a guy at his spot.
Right.
And, you know, last year he was a devastating player.
And you've added more depth around him where the sacks might be more evenly spread.
I'm going to go over because, number one, I think I don't know how many games they're going to win this year, but I think it's going to be more than 3.
You would really hope so.
So they're going to be in position to be pass rushing more as teams try to come from behind against them.
Yep.
And my understanding in this defense, he should face more one-on-one opportunities instead of having to take up 2 blockers at the same time. We've seen him get sacks facing 3 blockers at times. So I think more opportunities to pass rush, better pass rushing opportunities. I think he can play and not be quite as dominant as he was last year and still hit that 10 number.
I'm going to say he does too. I think he coming off that extension.
I think he wants to prove it too.
Right. I think it's, hey, I did it. I got paid for it. Now I'm going to go do it again. And you see he's in the best shape of his life.
He's in a good place.
And I do think, yes, maybe adding more depth on that defensive line spreads out the sacks, but also it's going to give him better opportunities to go get the quarterback. So I'm going to say right around 10. I'll say 10 or 11 for Jeffrey Simmons. Parker, does Jeffrey Simmons get another double-digit sack year?
I'm going to be honest. I think there is a good chance he could have a better year than last year.
Yeah. I don't.
I think with the rotation that Saleh runs, with the pieces you brought in on the defensive line, pairing him next to John Franklin Myers, I think that's going to open up more one-on-one opportunities for him late in the game when the offensive line is already dog-tired. I think he'll be able to get to the quarterback more. So give me the over for Jeffrey Simmons.
I think Connor's got a case of the hopium here. I mean, I think he's feeling good about this Titans team.
Listen, I'm not trying to gas up the Titans fans. I know how they are, but
I don't know if you've taken an under yet.
Yeah.
I know. I'm joking. Yeah. I'm joking. All right. This next one.
The rest of them, I'm taking the under.
We're going to do a team one here.
Okay.
Last year, the Titans had 6 interceptions as a team. That's really low.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to say, do they get to 10 this year? 10 interceptions as a team.
And if you were just going to say over 6, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to have more. It's hard to have less. I mean, the Jets did have 0 last year. So
10,
it's basically a little over 1 per every 2 games.
Okay, I'm going to say yes, And here's why. Because they're switching from a defense, man-to-man, where you're not looking at the football, you're looking at the receiver.
Yeah.
And then you're sticking your arm up trying to knock it down. They're moving to more of a zone-style defense where the defenders are looking at the football. It makes it much I say 10 plus.
Who leads the team in interceptions?
Kevin Winston.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to go. I'm
Okay.
going to say
superior athlete.
They do get to 10. I'm going Amani Hooker. I'm going bounce back here for Hook. What do you think, Parker? 10 interceptions and who leads the team?
I'm taking the under because I feel like one major injury to this corner room, the secondary room, and the depth is not good.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go under.
When you say that with the corners, that's not who usually leads you in interceptions. It's usually your safeties. When you look at the big interception seasons in Titans history, it's Michael Griffin, it's Kevin Byard, it's Amani Hooker. All right? It's not Andre Dyson.
I've been taking too many overs. You guys are right. So I'm taking the under slightly on 10.
And who leads the team?
I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go Kevin Winston.
Okay.
I'm going Kevin Winston.
Both on Kevin
Superior
Winston.
athlete.
That's right.
All right, last one for you here. This is not an over-under. It's an either-or. Who has more sacks this season, Keldrick Falk or Femi Oladejo?
Keldrick Falk.
I will go Keldrick too.
Keldrick Falk.
Okay. Yeah, we're all on Falk.
I have no idea what to expect.
Right. I think it's just the unknown with
It might
Femi.
be 3.5, but that'll be more.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you there. You know what? One more while we wrap this up.
Okay.
6 wins, higher or lower? Or right there.
I'll go over. I'll go to 7.
I'm going to say right there. I'm sticking with 6.
So I have traveled in the future.
Okay.
And I have come back and I've seen what happens to the Titans.
Wow.
In 2026.
Breaking news here.
7-10.
Okay.
That's the record.
All right.
We are one mind, Parker.
we really are.
Parker,
we really are.
Time travel
Today,
just to watch.
Parker, not a moron.
Not a moron. Wow.
Corey stole all of my notes before the show.
Parker
That's
gets his own name back too. He can be Parker.
I could be Parker again instead of the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Parker with a great use of time travel there to go watch the Titans go 7-10.
Oh, what a save.
True fan, huh?
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We've got one more segment left on this Wednesday. We'll talk some World Cup coming up after this. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1-2-5 the game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game, wrapping up the show on this Wednesday. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Again, if you missed it, big news of the day, the Predators acquire Maverick Bourque from the Dallas Stars, trading a second and third round pick back to Dallas. Bourque had 41 points last year with the Stars, and we'll have more reaction throughout the day here on the station. Jason Big Joe up next, DVD at 3. But did want to wrap up with some World Cup talk here. We've got a thriller going on down in Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
The Congo up 1-0 on England, nearly was 2-0, and they're in stoppage time of the first half. So that one good. U.S. tonight against Bosnia. This is a must-win for the U.S. men's national team.
Well, I mean, they're all must-wins for everybody because it's elimination time. But yeah, to look, if they win tonight, they will have achieved what is expected. They came into this thing ranked like 16th in the world.
Right. If you make it to the top 16,
you're right there.
Right.
They look, statistically, they are superior to Bosnia and Herzegovina. They need to win this game. If they lose this match, it destroys all the goodwill of group play.
Yes.
It does. You know, what happens after this determines if it's an historic run or not. But this one, like you're saying, I get it, has to happen.
Right. I think must win being used in terms of expectations.
Yes.
Because if they get to the quarterfinals and face Spain, I wouldn't say that's a must win. Yes, if they want to win the whole thing, all of them are must wins.
No, but look, I mean, they're not going to win the whole thing.
No, they're not.
I mean, but if they can get a big win into the round of 8,
right,
then you're talking about an historic run into the World Cup.
Yes, if you get to the quarterfinals, anything else on top of that is icing on the cake. And so, but you got to beat Bosnia tonight. It's a game that you are the heavy favorite in, and you should be able to go win. Going to be fully healthy, at least as far as we've heard. So should be fun tonight. I'm excited. 7:00 kick. We got Ava in here.
Yeah,
Ava, you're
long time TSC goalkeeper.
She's been enduring the heat in here. So wanted to get her thoughts on the game tonight.
Well, I feel like there's been lots of unexpected, unexpected eliminations.
Right.
Yeah, talking to that mic a little bit more there.
Okay. I also turned up her mic.
Thanks, man.
There's been lots of unexpected eliminations, so I feel like with this World Cup, it could be anyone's game. But I think with the U.S. being the team that's supposed to win, I think that I think that they're gonna win.
Now, look,
she knows her stuff.
I believe that we will win
with Justin or Christian Pulisic back and healthy.
Yep.
I think the number one key here, Ava, is ball control by the U.S.
Yes.
Can they have 60% possession time?
Right.
Because that's what they've done in the games where they've been really good. And so I think that's what we need to look for.
Yes.
Yeah. Australia and Paraguay, those two games, it felt like the pitch was tilted a lot.
Yes.
Like the U.S. just controlled it. They kept firing. They kept getting good chances. And you know, the own goals, you can say their own goals to start both those
because
matches,
of pressure.
But they put pressure on and they got a deflection.
Right. Yeah. There's look, I've seen some goalkeepers in the past suffer from their own teammates kicking the ball past them.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. This was not that case.
You put pressure on and it leads to mistakes.
We see them in hockey all the time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's the same thing.
Just all the back and forth passing.
Yeah, you get the goalkeeper off moving. I mean, that just happened to the English goalkeeper. He was moving right, ball came back to the left.
Put it in a dangerous area and good things happen. And so tonight, the Turkey game, it was tough to lose. And I think it might have helped just lock them back in of all right, it was mostly the B squad. Tyler Adams wasn't out there. Chris Richards wasn't out there. Flo Balogun.
Chris Richards is vital to this team.
It was basically McKennie played the whole game. And then you had Pulisic and Freeman sub on and Dest sub on late. But it was the B team. And so now you've got everybody back out there. You're ready to go. The yellow cards reset, so you're no danger there. This is a game the U.S. should win. And I think you want to get out to a good start, just like you did against Australia. Honestly, all 3 games you've gotten off to great starts. You've scored in the first 15 minutes. So I think that's what the U.S. needs to do, put the pressure on early.
Look, and by the way, I would be there for the start of that game. Honey, that's your phone.
No, this is Parker.
Oh, that's
Parker's
playing
playing the
Scott
Sterling video.
That's one of my 2 favorite YouTube videos of all time, Scott Sterling.
It is one of the best.
But yeah, so if they win, they go on to play Belgium or Egypt.
Yes. No, Belgium or Senegal.
Sorry, Belgium or Senegal. Senegal, a team they defeated just before the World Cup.
Right.
But and a team they are ranked ahead of, but certainly a team talented enough to take down the United States. So it won't be easy, in the next round. But again, you got to get to the next round first. I think with that home field advantage, it'll be something. Abe, I wanted to ask you. We talked earlier about how all of the star players have shown out in this thing.
Yeah.
Which one has impressed you the most?
Honestly, I think that Mbappe has impressed me the most because for just the past years in general, World Cup happening or not.
Didn't he have a hat trick in the last World Cup final?
I want to say yes. And he's like
did.
right behind Messi in World Cup goals, despite playing a ton less matches.
Yeah, I was gonna say like World Cup or not, I feel like Messi and Ronaldo have really taken over the soccer world for the past few years. So I think Mbappe has really just come back out and just shown that he was there.
I think Haaland is there too.
Yes.
I think Mbappe and Haaland have said, "Hey, we are right there with these guys."
Haaland has more goals than international matches played.
Have you seen the Twitter videos of like the Viking ships?
Yeah,
it's spectacular. It's unbelievable.
Norway has been one of the fun stories. And
I don't want them to get eliminated.
Them all being the fans being out there at the Travelers Championship this weekend and cheering on Victor Hovland to a win, and they're like rowing the boat
they are rowing the boat.
gallery.
Have you seen them like rowing the boat on the escalator?
Yes, I did see that.
And they're amazing.
Yeah,
Norway is the funnest team in this tournament.
There's been a lot of fun teams. Japan was really fun. The stuff that they were doing down in Dallas, trying Texas barbecue for the first time. The Freddie story was obviously cool for a while. His Germans are eliminated. And he deactivated his Twitter account too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He said it was because people were digging up old tweets of his.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, so he was just like, I'm going to put it away.
It's not worth the headache.
No, it's been that has been one of the best parts of the World Cup is the international.
So we're in the round of 32. We've already lost the Germans and the Netherlands. And the Netherlands were one of the favorites to win. Ava,
they were both top 10
They were
teams.
scientifically picked to win.
So who is your pick now to win the whole thing?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that France has a pretty good shot at winning with how well Mbappe is doing. But
they were so good yesterday.
Yeah, if they don't win, then I think that my pick based on just the team that I like would have to be Spain.
So France or Spain?
Yeah. I think Spain, they got the rust off a little bit. Lamine Yamal didn't play the first half of that Cape Verde game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're a dangerous team in the U.S.'s quadrant of the bracket.
Yep.
Their round of 16 match would be Portugal, most likely.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one of the best games of that round.
Yeah. It's
Brazil. You can never count them out either, even though they haven't again, they almost lost.
Just came up on ESPN, the favorite to win it, France and Argentina.
And then Spain. And
yeah, I was going to say the two teams I've been most impressed with, France and Argentina.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, Ava. If I had to make a wager, I would wager on France.
Wait, Cory, I don't mean to get you on a tangent here, but where do you stand on the Messi Ronaldo debate?
See, this is where Ava and I have a wall between us.
Okay.
I am Messi and she is Ronaldo.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the debate though? What's the comparison?
She says he sucks and I say he doesn't.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's about the extent of our soccer
I don't know.
knowledge on
I
this
think
show.
that the debate for a lot of people is based on World Cup wins, goals, games played, and stuff like that.
I mean, Ronaldo is spectacular without question, but Ronaldo is also an Adonis. I mean, when you look at the physique and the size and the power, and then you see a little hedgehog out on the field doing what he does, it's incredible. The way he sees the game. This is what I said this the other day to somebody. I can't remember who. Did you ever watch The Queen's Gambit on Netflix?
I've not.
Okay.
I've heard of it though.
So this
chess, right?
Yeah, this drug addicted chess player. She basically can stare at the ceiling and play the game, at Mach speed in her head to see all the different, combinations. It's just how she sees the board. She's a genius. And she just sees the board differently.
Yeah.
Messi sees the field differently.
Yeah.
He sees the seams. He sees the gaps before they're even there.
Yeah.
And I think, on top of quickness, that's how he's able to get to spots because he sees them before anybody else does.
Yeah.
And his accuracy on finishing is incredible.
Yep.
Incredible. So both amazing players. they just do it a little bit differently. And so I have an appreciation and she has an appreciation.
Yeah, like I've always said, I feel like there's two kinds of players. There's a kind of player who's able to physically charge through a situation and not think twice about it because they know that they're the stronger player, that they can just power through. And then there's a player who knows that they probably aren't the strongest player or the fastest player out there, and so they know that they have to make the smarter decision. We
know that player.
Push through.
That player might be sitting next to me.
There you go. 615-737-1825. That'll do it for us today. World Cup going on right now. England down 1-0 at halftime against the Congo.
I'm going to say they're in trouble.
Yep. And the U.S. plays tonight against Bosnia and Herzegovina. We'll be back tomorrow. It's a TD Thursday tomorrow at 9 a.m. Big thanks to Corey, Ava, Parker. Signing off. Chase and Big Joe coming up next year on 102.5 The Game.